Welcome to Amman Valley in South Wales for round 4 of the 2019 Indian Motorcycles DTRA UK Flat Track Nationals. Over 100 motorcyclists here to compete on the half-mile oval this weekend across 10 different classes in a sadly rain-affected event, the first of 2 days of action this weekend. You can see the track very wet and slippery as we get ready for our first race of the day, which is the first heat for the mini bike modified category. 157 Jez Scott starts on the front row of the grid for this one, with Sean Kelly, number 33, alongside. 3 different winners in the category so far this season. The first round at Kings Lynn won by Freddie Trott Jr., who's not riding this weekend. The second round at Peterborough by Grant Martin, and the third on the Greenfield circuit up in Lincolnshire, won by Joe Banks. He's here this weekend. Grant Martin and Freddie Trott Jr. not competing this weekend. There is number 67, that is Dimitri Costa. Several of these riders also competing in other classes across the course of this weekend. They're going to find the conditions fairly tough in the early part of this one. Number 64 there, that's Jeremy Skip, also competing in the vintage category this weekend. So the first 4-lapper about to get underway then after a couple of hours delay due to the wet conditions, but we are going to go racing here at Amman Valley. Green light is on and the first race gets underway. Down towards the first turn, good start by Jez Scott on number 157, but 36 Joe Banks in the multicoloured race suit there gets around the outside, taking the lead into the back straight for the first time. The smaller wheels on his machine meaning perhaps greater acceleration there. And it's Joe Banks, number 36, also competing in the pro class this weekend, who leads them off. Number 64 dodging through there on the inside. Jeremy Skip up into third behind Jez Scott. Really is very wet and muddy. You can see the riders struggling probably to see where they're going in these conditions. 33 of Sean Kelly out of shape there, competing also in the pro and vintage classes this weekend. A busy weekend for Sean. Motorcyclists of all shapes, sizes and ages, machines of all shapes, sizes and ages competing this weekend as well in this double round of the Indian Motorcycles DTRA UK Flat Track Nationals. Out in front it is Joe Banks making this race his own at the moment. Pulling away from Jez Scott on the 157. Out of shape there, the 33. That's Sean Kelly battling it out with 67 Dimitri Costa for what is 4th place at the moment. Third is the 64 of Jeremy Skip. Just coping well with these muddy conditions at the moment. Around the outside goes 33 Sean Kelly up into 4th position into turns 3 and 4 there. Keeping it together, doesn't want to run too wide into the tyre barrier. No safety fence, unlike a speedway track here on this half-mile pony trotting course. They're not going to catch the man out in front, number 36 of Joe Banks. He's heading for victory in our first race of the day. 3 rounds of heats taking place. It has already been decided, incidentally. There'll be no finals due to the earlier delays, just the 3 rounds of heats taking place here at Amman Valley this afternoon. Kelly coming on strong in the closing stages here, going round the outside there, now battling with Jez Scott for 2nd place. He's up into 2nd on that outside line. I don't think he's going to catch Joe Banks here. Joe is going to be our first winner, I think, of the weekend. Kelly on the number 33, yet to score points in the category this year. He's not going to catch Joe Banks, who takes the checkered flag. Kelly 2nd, Jez Scott in 3rd. Looks like Jeremy Skip came over in 4th place. So despite the weather, a good start to the proceedings here at Amman Valley this weekend. 36 Joe Banks, our first race winner. That's a nice warm-up for him as he gets ready to compete in the pro category this weekend. A good entry of 15 pro riders here in South Wales, including several from Spain, also from the Netherlands as well. Certainly a multinational entry here in South Wales on this wet weekend. Certainly making the best of a difficult situation with the delays. Joe Banks the winner by 1.2 seconds there over Sean Kelly. Jez Scott in 3rd, then Costa, Skip, Freddie Trott Sr. in 6th, Chris Bailey, Frank Casoli and Kaylee Hankins completing the 9 riders in the first of our mini modified heats. 2 mini bike classes, stock and modified, here this weekend. We now move on to the Sportax Thunderbike division, a very big field of Thunder bikes, 16 of them to be precise. The first heat for them lining up, it's a split for their first heat, half bikes in each heat, so effectively 6 races across the course of the event for the Thunder bike division. There's number 299, that's Barry Stevenson, one of several riders also competing in the rookie division. Number 18, John Bell, is the current points leader after 3 rounds. He won round 2 at Peterborough at the East of England Arena. The other 2 rounds won by Tom Clemens, number 42, for the Thunder bikes. He missed round 2 at Peterborough though. Treble 3, Kane Dalton, 79 of Guto Llewellyn, and 131, which is Gareth Howes lining up on the front row. Second row, 170, Chris Hatton, and 66, James O'Hara. Then we've got Barry Stevenson. John Bell's out in this one on the orange machine there, towards the back of the lineup. 131, Gareth Howes making his way into line. Number 21 out there as well is Nick Linnell. Bikes of varying ages in the Thunder bike division. Superb sounding machines, all of these living up to their name. Get ready to be thunderstruck here at Amman Valley. Thunder in the Valley gets underway, and a super start by John Bell from the back of the grid there. Goes level with 131 of Gareth Howes into the first turn, trying to get around the outside there, but it's Chris Hatton, 170, who has gone into the lead as they head into the back straights for the first time. Number 18 of John Bell in second place. Towards turns 3 and 4 they go, out in the mud on the outside. That's Gareth Howes, looks like he's lost out. The first 2 able to pull away, the rest of the pack will try and close in here. Down the straight they go, effectively 4.5 lap races in these heats. The start and finish lines on different sides of the circuits. John Bell having to give best here to the number 170 machine, ridden by Chris Hatton. Chris Hatton only 6th in the points coming into this 4th round of the year. He had a 2nd place in round 3 at the Greenfield TT circuit. Somebody pulling up there, 79, Guto Llewellyn, with problems. He's yet to appear in the division this year, but he is a quick rider. Tom Clemens, as we mentioned, has had 2 round wins this year. John Bell has had 1, so he could be a favourite here. The overall winner at the end of the day will be the aggregate highest scorer across the heats and will get the 20 championship points. There's the number 131 still pressing on, that's Gareth Howes, the man who hasn't scored points in this category this year. He also competes in the adult intermediate category. Most of the Thunder bike riders also ride in the inters or the rookie class, depending on their levels of experience. Struggle their way on in these wet conditions. The 2 bikes have pulled up towards the back of the field. No such problem for Chris Hatton on the 170 machine. He's still out in front. Sliding his way around the turn there. Down the back straight, coming up to lap one of his competitors. Too muddy to see the number on that machine, unfortunately. Having 1 or 2 identification problems here, but hopefully things will dry out as the event goes on. Checkered flag coming out then. Just trying to work out who that lapped rider is there. I think that might be the 13 of Gary Inman. No, it's not, it's treble 3, sorry, Kane Dalton, who has been lapped there, still trying to press on. The checkered flag has come out, and it is a win for number 170 of Chris Hatton in our first Thunderbike heat, sponsored by Sportax of the day. The other half of the Thunderbike entry will be out next. Well done to Chris Hatton, mud plugging his way to victory in Thunderbike's heat number 1. First heat of their first round. Chris Hatton the winner by nearly 4 seconds over Gareth Howes. James O'Hara taking 3rd, then Barry Stevenson 4th. John Bell dropping back into 5th position ahead of Nick Linnell. Kane Dalton we saw was lapped, and Guto Llewellyn dropping out of the race. So 7 riders go the distance then in our first Thunderbike race. The other half of the Thunderbike entry coming out next for the 3rd race of the day. We should see double winner from Kings Lynn and Greenfield Tom Clemens out in this one. John Bell the winner of the 2nd round at the East of England Arena. See from the rain, this is about what the riders can see. 134 making his way out on the track, that's Chris Jenner. There's 777 Jonas Hendricks. Certainly very rough and ready, big machines here, all differing ages in the Thunderbike category. Those boots won't stay white for long, Jonas Hendricks. Have a look at the lineup then for heat number 3. It's Michael Dijkstra, the Dutchman, also competing in the pro class today. He's on pole alongside Dan Ridge on the 28s. Jeremy Decombar from France on the number 17, a multinational front row. Second row, Tom Clemens on 42. On the 134 is Chris Jenner, and Jonas Hendricks starting from row 3 on the 777. So a slightly smaller field here, the other half of the entry of Thunderbikes for heat number 2 of their first round. Underway. We'll start by Dan Ridge on the 28th, second in the opening round at the Adrian Flux Arena at Kings Lynn on the Speedway track. Some decent results in rounds 2 and 3 as well. He's currently third in the Thunderbike point standings, Dan Ridge, and he's off like a rocket here at the start of this one. 17 slipping and sliding around there. That's Jeremy Decombar, the Frenchman. This very international field here at Amman Valley this weekend. See how wet it is there on the inside line. They're not daring to slide their machines too much here, as they spin out and fall. Dan Ridge taking it in his stride here out in front. It's near impossible to identify the riders behind him now. We're only a couple of laps into this. How tricky it is out there. One rider sliding wide there. 134 Chris Jenner, that is, going through. Number plates completely obscured by mud. Such a great shame. It rained at round 2 at Peterborough as well. A lot of races cut from the programme, unfortunately. Chris Jenner under pressure there. Coming round over effectively turns 1 and 2 because the start-finish line over on that side of the circuit, and one machine slowing up there. Maybe just can't see where he is going, that rider. Conditions were necessitated a delay to the start of the action, but the riders deserving full credit for keeping going. Hopefully we'll see the event through to its conclusion. 3 rounds have to be run for the riders to be able to score points. Dan Ridge still out in front. He's somewhere in there on the number 28 machine. Keep the speed up as best as they can here. Confirm the results once everybody is in. The checkered flag is out as the riders come across the line. An event of struggle so far then in our Thunderbike category. It has gone to Dan Ridge on the number 28 machine. He was off like a shot at the start, and once he was out in front, everybody else behind just got filled in, really. And Dan was able to coast to victory there on the number 28. So the win going to number 28, Dan Ridge, in our second Thunderbike race on the programme. 6 seconds clear of Chris Jenner. Tom Clemens, second in the championship, coming into today in third, just behind Jenner. Jeremy Decombar a long way back in fourth, and Jonas Hendricks a lap down. We lost Michael Dijkstra on the 58. We'll see him in the pro category today as well. Next up on track today will be the first heat for the mini stock category, effectively, the stock mini bikes. Now the points leader is not here in that category. Max Hunt is the leader of the mini bike stock category. Max Hunt won round 1 at Kings Lynn, round 3 at Greenfield, but he's not here. The winner of round number 2 at Peterborough was Toby Hales on the number 1 machine. He's not competing in this category either, concentrating on the pro category this weekend. So we will see a new winner in the mini stock category. Archie May, number 9, could be in with a chance on the front row here, along with Alison Wag Scott on the 197. 68 of Kaylee Hankins, and treble 7 straight back out here after his Thunderbike race. Jonas Hendricks, that's the front row. 26 is Gary Wigston alongside Ruth Mooney on the 122, and Jez Scott completing the second row. Also up there we've got the 130 Ross Jackson and 166 Giovanni Belliosi, the Italian. See how he gets on here from the back of the grid. Sam Neville, number 105, completing the lineup, just moving into line on row 3, alongside Giovanni Belliosi in the blue and white shirt there. 3-0 is Ross Jackson, also competing in the vintage category this weekend. Away we go. Good start from the second row there by Jez Scott. I think it's Archie May who's going to hit the first turn first. Number 9 of Archie May takes the early lead. It looks like it's Wag Scott, one of the leading female riders in the DTRA series, possibly up in the second. Kaylee Hankins is in there as well. Always very busy as Kaylee, races in several different categories. She's racing mini stocks and mini modified this weekend. Number 26 there, Gary Wigston, battles through behind the leaders. Archie May under fire here. Who's that trying to move through on the inside? That is Kaylee Hankins on the number 68 machine there, side by side, sitting back on the bikes, right back onto the rear mudguard there, almost long track racing style. It is a half-mile circuit here, of course. You've seen both quarter-mile and half-mile circuits used in this series. Archie May sitting right back there, the Youth Series rider as well. He's in the Youth Senior category this weekend. Only a young gun taking on Kaylee Hankins for the lead in the mini stock category here. Hankins back up the inside. 26 Gary Wigston having a battle for third place, and Archie May's run wide there, coming out of the turn. Back into second place, Wigston in third, sitting right back on his rear mudguard there. Jez Scott, I think, up there on the outside, was nearly right off the back of the bike, and we've got a real contest going on for the lead here. This is the best race we've had today so far. Kaylee Hankins on the inside, Archie May on the outside, and I think Archie's going to pull ahead as they go into that turn there. Side by side they go. May sticking to the outside line here, the young gun. Kaylee Hankins on the inside. Going to be a very close finish between these two. They are loving this. Archie May right down behind his handlebars has retaken the lead. Spectacular style here from young Archie. And it looks like he has now managed to pull ahead of the 68 machine of Kaylee Hankins. 3 wide further back. Wag Scott in there on the 197. Oh goodness me, Sam Neville, I think that is on the outside there, catching Gary Wigston. That's the battle, I think, for 4th place. Well, they're making light of the conditions here. Sam Neville in particular there, number 105, has charged through the field. Superb racing here at Amman Valley from the mini bike stock category. 105 Sam Neville chasing down Wigston now in the bike for what I think is 4th place here. There's Wag Scott behind them on the 197 machine. It's looking good for Archie May out in front on the number 9. He's taken the win ahead of Kaylee Hankins. The checkered flag goes out. That was an entertaining race there. If anything, I think the rain is easing off, and it shows with some much better racing there from the mini stock category. Superb side-by-side battling for the lead. Your winner confirmed as number 9, Archie May. Well done to the young gun, who will also see in the youth senior category. That was an excellent race there, to say the least, from the mini stocks though. Superb side-by-side, at times 3 wide battling among the leading runners. May the winner by just over half a second at the end ahead of Kaylee Hankins, with Gary Wigston taking 3rd ahead of the fast-closing Sam Neville. Jez Scott 5th, Wag Scott falling back into 6th place. Then Jonas Hendricks, Ross Jackson, Giovanni Belliosi and Ruth Mooney completing the top 10 runners. Great stuff there from the stock mini bike championships. Now we move on to the young guns. And next up on track here today, it is going to be the youth junior category. First of those to hit the track here is going to be the unbeaten points leader, Wyatt Hopkins, on the number 100 bike. He's won all 3 rounds so far at Kings Lynn, Peterborough and Greenfield. Anyone stop Wyatt Hopkins here in the youth junior class for the youngest and most lightweight riders. He's on the front row along with Oscar Osborne Wilkes on the number 65 bike. 161 completing the front row is Toby Johnson. 609 of Alfie Croft on the second row alongside Jaden Lewis on 72. And on the third row we got 145 Paddy Moore, 79 who is Marcy Skip, and finally Maddie Banks on the number 36 machine. Just waiting for the grid to be confirmed here. Marshall's talking to these young riders. Can anyone stop Wyatt Hopkins? He's on pole position for his first race of the day. Waiting for the third row to be confirmed. There is one rider slightly out of position, that's Alfie Croft. He's now moved on to the second row on number 609. Slight jump start there for Jaden Lewis on the 72, just rolled forward a bit, but he doesn't gain any advantage from it. Wyatt Hopkins will lead on the inside into the first turn, ahead of the number 65 of Oscar Osborne Wilkes. Away we go then with the junior class. Away goes Wyatt Hopkins, who's completely dominated this class so far this season, ahead of Oscar Osborne Wilkes. There in third, that looks like the number 145 of Paddy Moore has come through into third place in the orange race suit there, ahead of 609 of Alfie Croft. 65 Oscar Osborne Wilkes looking quick there, but not quick enough to catch Wyatt Hopkins, who's already almost the length of a straight clear here at the Amman Valley, and on a half-mile track, that's a big margin. Paddy Moore on the 145 in third place. Then we've got Alfie Croft in fourth. They're already well spaced out in this first youth class race of the day. We've got the Inters and the seniors to come next, but the youth juniors dominated once again by Wyatt Hopkins. No stopping him this year. Already coming up to lap a couple of runners, Jaden Lewis and number 79 Marty Skip going a lap down. There's 609 of Alfie Croft in a safe fourth place at the moment. Wyatt Hopkins emulating the senior riders there, sitting back on his rear mudguard as he charges clear. Virtuoso performance once again from young Wyatt. 5 Paddy Moore in third place. Alfie Croft not catching him. We'll negotiate these couple of back markers here. Two of the youngest riders in the field, Marty Skip and Jaden Lewis. 65 Oscar Osborne Wilkes in second place. Now can 145 Paddy Moore catch him? He's good at the moment. Safe in that second place. They're not going to catch Wyatt Hopkins though on the number 100. He is heading for yet another victory over Oscar Osborne Wilkes. There's number 36. That's Maddie Banks going a lap down. Shows the sheer pace that Wyatt Hopkins has got here. Visibly quicker than everybody else. Osborne Wilkes still second. Wyatt Hopkins just picking off back markers quite freely here, and he's taken another win. He's about half a lap ahead of everybody else. Oscar Osborne Wilkes is going to come in second place. The 161 of Toby Johnson there has been lapped as well. Osborne Wilkes in second place, with Wyatt Hopkins having long since taken the checkered flag. Wyatt Hopkins, your winner of Youth Juniors, heats number 1 by a very handsome margin indeed. He'll be pleased with that. His season of dominance continues in the class for the youngest riders on the DTRA Indian Motorcycles UK flat track schedule. Showing his rivals the way once again there, winning by over 17 seconds ahead of Oscar Osborne Wilkes. Paddy Moore and Alfie Croft, the only other riders to stay on the lead lap. Maddie Banks and Toby Johnson both one lap down in 5th and 6th. Marty Skip and Jaden Lewis were lapped twice. They got to the finish though, fighting the conditions. Now it's on to the youth intermediate category. Points leader in this class, number 128 of Ted Wilkinson. He won rounds 2 and 3 at Peterborough and Greenfield. The other round winner, Thomas Hunt, in round 1 at the Adrian Flux Arena, but Thomas Hunt not here this weekend. Thomas and Max Hunt, I believe those two are brothers if memory serves me right. The Hunt family not here, possibly on holiday. So the lineup for Youth Intermediates Heat 1, number 78 Wilbur Skip and 31 Senna Ace Summers on the front of the grid. Second row, 128 of Ted Wilkinson alongside Lizzie Banks on the 36. 3 members of the Banks family racing here this weekend. Then we've got Erin Dyer on 73, number 2 of Luke Elliott, and 46 Charlie Kelly rounding out the grid for Youth Intermediates. Heat number 1. Ted Wilkinson on the number 128 on the second row there on the white machine. It won't be white for long in these muddy conditions. Will start as the favourite here, the points leader. Charlie Kelly second in the points. He's had 2 seconds and a third so far this season. Thomas Hunt third in the points with 1 round win. There's number 2, Luke Elliott. Real classic looking machine that Luke is on there. He's currently 4th in the points, had a top 3 results at Peterborough. Let's see how he gets on here. Away they go. The rider's a bit slow away there. Now who's going to get the whole shot into the first turn? It is Ted Wilkinson, number 128, who gets the lead. Into that first turn they go, and Wilkinson already with the lead as they head into, well, the back straight relating to the start line, but it's the finishing straight really, so it's hard to know whether to call that the home straight or the back straight, because the start and finish lines of course are in different places, so apologies for slight confusion here at Amman Valley. They're underway. Charlie Kelly up into 2nd place, Senna Ace Summers, number 31, right down behind his handlebars there in 3rd place. Good style from Senna Ace Summers. Don't think he's any relation to Speedway star Aaron Summers from Australia. Give him a run for his money, I reckon. He's in 3rd place there and pulling away, chasing after the top 2. See, there is a dry line emerging slightly now on the half mile here at Amman Valley, home of motorcycling in South Wales. Racing hard there, Charlie Kelly in the Lotus Formula 1 colours, I noticed that he is wearing there. Ayrton Senna was a Lotus driver back in the 80s. Senna Ace Summers giving chase to the Lotus-clad man Charlie Kelly here in 2nd place. They've left the other riders fairly well behind, but well out in front is 128 of Ted Wilkinson, a dominant performance from him so far. Ace Summers still keeping his machine clean in 3rd place. They're not going to catch Ted Wilkinson here, looking for his 3rd win of the season here at round 4 of the 2019 Indian Motorcycles DTRA UK Flat Track Championship Youth Intermediate category. Mapping one of the slower markers there. Like in speedway racing, you don't get disqualified for being lapped. 73 Erin Dyer, who has just been lapped. And several bike problems, sadly, Erin, earlier this season. Senna Ace Summers still keeping up the chase. Senna Ace Summers, maybe we'll see him ride for the Bellevue Aces in Speedway. One or two ex-Speedway riders here. The checkered flag has gone out for Ted Wilkinson, a comprehensive victory for him. The rest of the riders coming home. 2nd place will be number 46 Charlie Kelly, Senna Ace Summers next home. It is Ted Wilkinson who takes a clear victory in Youth Inter Heat number 1. Certainly looks pleased with that. So out of the spray of mud, he made a good start and was able to pull away. That's the most crucial part of the race in these muddy conditions, making a good start, being in a good position for the first corner. Wilkinson the winner by 6 seconds ahead of Charlie Kelly. Senna Ace Summers 3rd, then Wilbur Skip, number 78, was 4th ahead of Luke Elliott. Erin Dyer in 6th position, did manage to get back on the lead lap there. Lizzie Banks finishing a lap down in 7th place. On to the youth senior category next up then, and the overwhelming favourites for this one is going to be number 93 Jack Bell. He's won all 3 rounds so far. His main challenger will be Archie May, 2nd in rounds 1 and 2 at Kings Lynn, Peterborough, and was 4th in round 3. Archie May we've already seen today in the mini bike categories. They're split in the points, Bell and May, by Luke Gardner, number 159. He's had a 2nd at Greenfield and 2 thirds. Identical podiums in the first 2 rounds of the year. There's number 9 Archie May making his way up to the front row of the grid. 5 riders in this category today. Archie May will start at the front. Jack Bell on the 2nd row alongside Fergus Bluff on number 118. And the 3rd row Luke Gardner, number 159 alongside 91, which is Leon Collier, his first appearance of the season. So the smallest field of the day across these 10 classes we've got here in Amman Valley this weekend. 5 riders for the youth senior category. Can anyone stop the winning run of Jack Bell? Archie May is the most likely to, but a good start by Bell. He's outpaced May into the first turn. Can he take the lead? No, he can't. It's Fergus Bluff, number 118, who's got the best start of all, and he's got the lead around the outside line. Further back in the order, Archie May having to give best to Luke Gardner, it looks like there as well. So Fergus Bluff leads on the wide line here around the opening lap, chased by number 93 of Jack Bell. Having a look on the inside there down the straight, Fergus Bluff it is who leads the way. Slightly more experienced riders up the inside. Jack Bell, can he take the lead here? Coming off the turn, I think he's going to get the overlap. Yes, he has. Jack Bell into the lead, as he's accustomed to in the 2019 UK flat track season. Fergus Bluff a little bit out of shape on the wider line, needs to cut back slightly more to the inside. He's there in second place. They are well ahead of the rest here. Third place is number 159, that's Luke Gardner. So Archie May struggling a bit in the mud here. Saw him win earlier on in the mini bikes after a terrific battle with Kaylee Hankins. Wide line is not working here for Fergus Bluff. He's dropping away. Luke Gardner, a colourful bike and race suit there in third position. Fairly well spaced out now. If anything, it is continuing to dry out slowly. Will improve matters. Has already been decided there will be no finals here today due to the delays in the event getting underway, sadly. So it's Jack Bell from Bluff, then it's Gardner, May, and finally Leon Collier, the number 91. Mustn't forget him at the tail of the field in our first senior race of the day here at Amman Valley. Riders, of course, do it all again tomorrow. It's a double round here in Wales. Jack Bell, good style out in front. Not going to catch him here. Triple round winner so far. Back on the machine as he charges down the streets. Perfect riding from Jack Bell there to take the win. Way ahead of everybody else. Already long since taken the checkered flag. The rest of the field crosses the line. Jack Bell confirmed as your winner on number 93, going for 4 out of 4 here at Amman Valley today, starting in the most emphatic fashion possible. We go from youth to vintage next up on track here. First of all, we'll confirm the results of the youth seniors. Heat number 1, Jack Bell the winner by just over 4 seconds ahead of Fergus Bluff, with Luke Gardner another nearly 7 seconds back in third place. Archie May 4th, and Leon Collier rounding out the top 5. Next up we have the vintage category. Now it's effectively 2 championships in 1 in the vintage class, with classes for 2-stroke and 4-stroke divisions. Given the size of the vintage entry, 15 bikes here this weekend, they have been split into 2, and the same way as the Thunder bikes for their opening heats. The rookies and the intermediates will do the same. There's number 33, that's Sean Kelly. He's the leader of the 2-stroke category in the vintage class, meeting in 3 classes here today. He's the busiest rider. The grid will see number 60, Paul Morell, on the front row alongside John Jacker, number 410. 130 is Ross Jackson, and 101 will be John Dyer. Second row, 257, Carl Swatteridge, and 33, Sean Kelly. Number 18, Mike Fisher, on his beautiful Spanish-built Voltaco machine, starts from row number 3. Beautiful sound of these classic bikes as they make their way up to the line. The 4-stroke category currently led by Dimitri Costa, who won at Peterborough. Sean Kelly won the 2-stroke class there. No points scored in the third round at Greenfield though, so only 2 counting rounds on the board so far. Kings Lynn saw the 4 strokes won by Paul Harrison, number 4, who's not out this weekend. He's only contested 1 round of the series so far. The 2 strokes were won by Ross Jackson, but he did not score at round 2 Peterborough. There's Sean Kelly on his Suzuki. Could he start as the favourite here in this first vintage race today? It's just half of the vintage entry, of course. Revs start to rise, then we await the green light to come on. The Voltaco from the back row of the grid of number 18, Mike Fisher, second in the 2-stroke points. We're underway, he's got a good run down the outside here. Oh, somebody out of shape right from the start. That was Sean Kelly, that's delayed him. But we are underway, looks like Ross Jackson has taken the lead on the number 130 machine ahead of Mike Fisher, who's blitzed through from the back of the grid as I expected. 130 Ross Jackson leads the way in the early stages. Sean Kelly recovering from his poor start, he's up into third place. He's going through for second out of the turn there. Is he going to catch Ross Jackson? Yes, he is. He goes straight round the outside. Excuse me, says Sean Kelly. Now, he's got experience, of course, having competed already in the mini modified class today, the very first race of the day, so he knows where the grip is. And away goes Sean Kelly on the Suzuki. 15.130 of Ross Jackson, also competing in the mini stock category today. Mike Fisher on his beautiful Bultaco in third place. Bultaco, more famous, of course, for their trials bikes than racing machines, but Mike Fisher certainly makes his example fly. Ross Jackson in second. I think that's a Yamaha he's mounted on. Battle here for second place. Fisher up the inside into the straight. He goes through. Waves thank you to Ross Jackson, who gave him room there on the inside. Very gentlemanly sport is flat track. Gentlemen racing here today, of course. Got a few ladies as well. Bike being lapped there. Paul Morell on the number 60 machine lets the leaders through, as here comes Mike Fisher up on the outside now. Fisher's got a run on Sean Kelly, and he takes the lead round the outside there. Good move by Mike Fisher. He is loving this. Over the bumps there round the turn. He holds the lead in the red shirt there, the number 80. And Sean Kelly fight back. He's certainly trying on the outside there. Racing in the first race of the day for the vintage bikes. Here comes Kelly back up the outside again. Breezes ahead again down the straight. Straight. Mike Fisher tries his hardest to fight back. Is Sean Kelly going to hang on for victory on the 33? I think he's just about got it made. Now he looks back to see where Mike Fisher is. Fisher is not going to catch him. Kelly takes the win. That's a good race there between Sean Kelly and Mike Fisher. We'll confirm the rest of the results in a moment. I think it was Ross Jackson who got third place, and the rest of them quite a way behind. Taking the win there in a very close battle indeed. Number 33, Sean Kelly on his Suzuki. He's certainly satisfied with that one, despite being covered in mud, but not as covered in mud as Paul Morell is there as they leave the circuit. He got well and truly filled in. Still very wet underfoot, as you can see. Kelly the winner by half a second at the flag ahead of Mike Fisher. Ross Jackson third, and then further back in fourth, Carl Swatteridge. John Dyer in fifth, John Jacker sixth, and Paul Morell 2 laps down in seventh place. The other half of the vintage entry will be out next. Should see our 4-stroke points leader Dimitri Costa, who won at Peterborough, out in this one. As the first half of the vintage entry dry off and get their vision back. Out into track comes number 72, that's John Harrison, sporting a fetching green waterproof suit there. I think he's going to need that here. Very beautiful, very well prepared machines in this vintage category. Those big thick tyres going to be needed here. Number 64 lining up on pole position, that's Jeremy Skip. We've already seen him in the mini modified category, starting alongside 404 of Ben Eddings for this first race of the day. Second row, Dimitri Costa, the 4-stroke class leader, alongside 175 Andy John and 79 Guto Llewellyn. Dropped out of his first race earlier today. Then John Harrison, Rick Bearcroft and Darren Legg on the third row of the grid. Guto Llewellyn also competing in the mini bike categories this weekend. Didn't finish his first ride. 175 Andy John moves into position. There's 67 Dimitri Costa choosing to push his bike to the start line, looking to keep his lead after winning round 2 at Peterborough in the points chart. John Harrison in second place, finished second to Dimitri at Peterborough. They're going to start as the favourites here, I would think. Away we go then. And one bike hasn't got away there, 404 Ben Eddings with problems. He's pulled up. There's number 124 at the back, Darren Legg. And away go the leaders. It's number 67, Dimitri Costa, who has got the best getaway as expected. He's got the early lead. Already starting to pull away from his rivals. John Harrison in fourth place there in that distinctive green race suit, chasing number 64 of Jeremy Skip. Looks like an old American flat track bike there, but he has to give best to John Harrison on the 72. Away go the leaders. The field already quite well spread out here in this second race for the vintage bikes here at Amman Valley. Dimitri Costa setting the pace. We lost Ben Eddings at the start. His machine failed to get away as one rider rips his goggles off there. I think that was our race leader possibly, just throwing the goggles away. Useless in these muddy conditions. Hope he doesn't need any treatments on his eyes afterwards. There's Jeremy Skip, number 64, still chasing after John Harrison. Down the straight there. Harrison starting to get away, getting grip in those deep tyres we mentioned at the start. Probably not going at 10/10ths in these tricky conditions. Still doing their best to put on a show. There's number 79, that's Guto Llewellyn. Better run for him this time. Retirement earlier on. Doubling up between the classes this weekend, as we mentioned. Touring competes in the Thunder bikes earlier on. Apologies, not the mini bikes. Well, Dimitri Costa away and clear on the number 67 machine. The scrap for third place between Harrison and the 64 of Skip. Away goes Guto Llewellyn, racing in second place it looks like now, coming up to lap number 124. That is Darren Legg. Llewellyn goes to the outside, keeping it smooth there. Not going to catch Dimitri Costa, who's going in to take the win. Fairly well spaced out field in our second vintage race of the day. Dimitri Costa a clear winner on the 67. We'll confirm the results in a moment. On vintage heat number 2. Next we move on to the rookie category. In fact, we lost Costa in there, so Guto Llewellyn taking the win. Maybe it was vision problems for Dimitri Costa there that caused him to actually drop out of that one. Llewellyn the winner ahead of Costa by 8.8 seconds, so Dimitri did indeed slow down. John Harrison in third ahead of Jeremy Skip, and Rick Bearcroft fifth, Andy John in sixth, and Darren Legg in seventh place. So Dimitri Costa got the good start, but possibly couldn't see where he was going, and Guto Llewellyn able to get ahead as Dimitri suffered problems with his goggles. Now it's on to the rookie category, second biggest entry of the weekend, 18 machines and riders. Many of these also competing in the mini bike categories or the Thunder bikes, in one case the vintage as well, Ben Eddings. Riders shortly out onto track for the first rookie race of the weekend. This is going to be a good one. These some of the, as the name suggests, the less experienced riders on the bill. The front row for this one will be Wag Scott on the 197, Jack Pitt on 172, and Fabio Gomez on number 71. Second row, 135 Pete Marshall, treble 6 of Tim Newbrook, Frank Casoli on the 23, and 57, which is Danny Norton. Then on the third row, Sam Neville on 105, and treble 3 of Kane Dalton is your lineup for our first rookie class race of the weekend. The championship led coming into this round by Frank Casoli on the 23 machine. He had a win in round 3 at Greenfield in Lincolnshire. The other round won by Dave Lambert, who's not here this weekend. He won at Peterborough, and James Smith won the first round at Kings Lynn. Also absent, I believe, this weekend. So he may well see a new winner if anyone can beat Frank Casoli on the number 23. Danny Norton is second in the points thanks to consistency. Dave Lambert third, and Fabio Gomez in fourth. So we're in position then, waiting for the green lights. Rebs beginning to rise. Fabio Gomez can be one to watch here from the outside, the front row in the black and red there. Looks like there is a slight delay here, possibly a problem for Gomez. The official is checking on him there. Are we waiting for somebody else? Looks like everybody's there. Let's get this first rookie race of the weekend underway. Not sure what the hold-up is here. Now the riders start to move into position. The last-minute checks taking place. They're told to watch for the green light, and away they go. Good start by the number 57 of Danny Norton there down the outside from the second row. It looks like it could be Gomez who's taken the early lead on the 71. Indeed it is. He's got the lead as they head out of the first turn. It could well be Casoli up into second there. Number treble 6, which is Tim Newbrook. The leaders head round the turn of the first time. Looks like the sun's burning through the clouds here in South Wales. Should have thought that earlier this morning. Second place is Casoli, third is Norton, fourth it's Newbrook. Now we can start to get up to speed. Pete Marshall is in fifth position ahead of Sam Neville from row 3 of the grid. Fabio Gomez then being chased by the 23 of Frank Casoli out in front. Here comes Sam Neville. Saw him making a few passes earlier on in his other class, the mini stock category. This is on for the lead here from Frank Casoli on number 23, the championship leader in the rookie class, chasing Fabio Gomez on number 71. The bikes lengthening it now as they go into the turn. Can Gomez hang on? He's drifting wide there as they come off the turn. This is Casoli's opportunity. Meanwhile, Sam Neville round the outside of Dan Norton into what I think is now third place. Have we had a change to the lead? Indeed we have. As through goes the number 23, championship leader Casoli takes up the lead ahead of Fabio Gomez. Now well clear of everybody else. It's Sam Neville in third place. And we've got Danny Norton. The battle between Pete Marshall and Tim Newbrook, 135 and treble 6. 6, the number of the beast. Hopefully that's not going to be unlucky for Tim Newbrook this weekend. The leader is Frank Casoli. Gomez trying to fight back on the outside on the red and green machine. He's not going to get there around the outside this time though. Conditions continue to improve here in South Wales. Well spaced out in this one now. There's Pete Marshall, number 135. Need to chase down Sam Neville. He's got ahead of Dan Norton, who's dropped back. Meantime, the win goes to Casoli ahead of Gomez. Good fight between them in the early stages. The pack heads through. Good race in there from the rookie category. That's just half of the entry for the rookies, of course. Another half to come in our very next race. 23, Frank Casoli looking to extend his championship lead this weekend. He's already 13 points up on Danny Norton, looking for his second consecutive round win. He started well with a win in his first heats, and we'll confirm the rest of the results. Congratulated by Fabio Gomez there. Just analysing I think they're analysing their race. They're saying how bumpy it was out there. 1.6 seconds the winning margin for Casoli over Gomez. Sam Neville taking third ahead of Pete Marshall. Danny Norton, after a good start, dropping back to fifth ahead of Tim Newbrook. Then Jack Pitt, Wag Scott and Kane Dalton all on the lead lap, completing the finishers. The other half of the entry will be out next, and the highest man in the points in this entry should be Olivier Cartoyan, number 56, who's had a couple of podiums but had problems at the first round at King's Lynn. He's currently fifth in the points. He should be the main man worth watching in this heat number 2 for the rookies. Olivier Cartoyan, watch for bike number 56. As they start to settle into line, there is Cartoyan with the blue and yellow shirts on the red machine, lining up alongside the number 21 of Nick Linnell, also competing in the Thunder Bikes this weekend. They're on the front row along with Giovanni Belliosi on 166. The second row, 182 of Robert Ungar. Treble 7, Jonas Hendricks. Then row 3 will be Barry Stevenson, 299. 169, Chris Cooper. And number 86 of Nicholas Prado. So the lineup already almost into position then for rookies heat number 2. We've got the 2 inter heats coming up after this, and then it's on to the big guns, the pro category. 15 riders in the pros this weekend. Number 84 there, almost a speedway style setup for him at the back of the field. The ropes begin to rise and away they go towards the first turn. A good start by Nicholas Prado down the outside of the 86, but it is Olivier Cartoyan who hits the first turn first, and he leads them away ahead of the number 21 Nick Linnell in second place. On the inside, 169 Chris Cooper's got away well in the light blue there, and straight round the outside of Giovanni Belliosi he goes up into fourth position from the back row of the grid. Barry Stevenson is in second place in the 299, a good first lap for him. Cartoyan then from Stevenson. If the early stages. Bit of a wobble there for Barry Stevenson as he came off the turn. The man in black chasing after Olivier Cartoyen. Number 21, Nick Linnell, is in third place. Stevenson taking a few risks in the ruts there to try and catch Olivier Cartoyen for the lead in his second rookies race of the day. We've lost the number 84 there. 84 not listed on my grid sheet, unfortunately. Maybe one of our riders has changed his number from the starting lineup there, so apologies there. Meantime, the lead gap is coming down. 2.99 of Barry Stevenson chasing after Olivier Cartoyen. Still Cartoyen who leads the way. Can Stevenson make a move here? He's much closer there, round the turn. Side's he going to go? Is he going to go inside or outside? He tries an outside run into the straights. We've seen a few outside passes so far today. Still Cartoyen from Stevenson. Nick Linnell keeping a watching brief in third in the on the 21. Good riding by Olivier Cartoyen, currently fifth in the points. He finished third at Peterborough, third at Greenfield. Barry Stevenson continuing the chase. 2.99. He's seventh in the points at the moment coming into this weekend. Nick Linnell, number 21. Not yet in the points chart this year. Into the rookie category perhaps. Don't think he's going to catch the leaders. He's trying his hardest though. Having a look on the inside there as they come off the turn. Cartoyen is not going to be caught though. He takes the win. Is Linnell going to snatch second? I think he has. We'll confirm that in just a moment though. Again, a bit tricky with all the mud the riders are covered into. See their numbers there. We will confirm the results in a second of rookie seat number 2. Olivier Cartoyen, we know, has won it. Well done to him. He pulls up to celebrate with his fellow riders on the slowdown. Cartoyen takes the win, looking to move up the championship table possibly here this weekend. Challenge the likes of Dave Lambert and Fabio Gomez immediately ahead of him. Good stuff from Cartoyen there. Just a couple of riders taking the flag some way back. At least they got there. We saw 1 or 2 retirements in that race. Cartoyen the winner by less than a second. Nick Linnell did indeed steal second from Barry Stevenson there on the final turn. Chris Cooper taking fourth. Then Jonas Hendricks, Giovanni Belliosi, Nicolas Prado and Robert Ungar, the final finishers. That concludes the first round of heats for the rookies then. Now it's on to the class with the biggest entry this weekend, and that is the adult intermediate category. No fewer than 24 riders entered in this class this weekend. 2 rounds have been held so far, both won by Simon Parkin. No points scored at Greenfield in round 3. So no points for anyone, I should clarify. So the 2 rounds held so far at Kings Lynn and Peterborough, both won by 139 Simon Parkin. 147 there is Gareth Williamson. He could be a favourite. We've also got Dan Ridge, number 28. We've already seen him a winner in the Thunderbikes here today. There is Simon Parkin in the red and black. He'll line up on the front row along with Ridge. 99, which is Stephen Campbell, Gareth Williamson and 919 Trevor Heath. Second row 69, Conrad Little. 141, which is Richard Gardiner, Gareth Howes number 131 and 128 of Steve Wilkinson. Third row headed by 137 Tom Moore. We've also got 76 Brad Hardman. The rest of the pack coming into line, the biggest grid certainly that we've had so far today. A few of our Thunderbike riders out in the intermediates as well, doubling up the classes. 128 there, that's Steve Wilkinson. Already seen Ted Wilkinson upholding honour for the family in the youth inter division. Last couple of bikes making their way into line. Number 13 there, that's Gary Inman. Classic machine he's got there. Looks like he's going from the back, may have had a problem with his machine. And was that a jump start there for Steve Wilkinson? I think it was. So Wilkinson may well have jumped the start. He's going round the outside on the first turn alongside Gareth Williamson on the 147 machine there. Down the back straight they go. It is Wilkinson who shows in front, but did he jump the start from the second row? Williamson is there on the inside, and also coming up the inside, who is that? Couldn't quite identify the other rider on the inside there. One rider pulling up, that's Dan Ridge, number 28, in trouble. So Ridge pulls up as Wilkinson back to the inside, side by side with Gareth Williamson. We saw Gary Inman start from the back, possibly a problem with his machine, number 13. So hopefully it's not going to be unlucky 13 for Gary this weekend. Williamson, who leads on the 147 in his first race for the adult intermediate division. This is effectively the rung on the ladder just below the pro class. 69 there, Conrad Little chasing hard in third, and Simon Parkin, the championship leader, back in fourth. Parkin, the championship leader, ahead of Jay Matthews. Little is third in the points, well behind the top two. George Sturgis is fourth, and rounding out the top five is Chris Jenner. Thunderbikes this weekend as Wilkinson again goes underneath Gareth Williamson. Can he go through? He certainly can. Off the turn. Williamson just going a little wide there. Here comes Conrad Little, chasing hard on the 69 in the red race suits. Black raincoat over the top, certainly needed here this weekend. Steve Wilkinson, Wilco out in front. Saw Wilco Jr. in action earlier on. Gareth Williamson's not finished yet. Has to fight back up the inside there. Can he do it? And we get the lead back again. Still Wilkinson from Williams. Pretty close between these two at the line. Wilkinson, I think, is going to hang on here. He gets down low behind his handlebars and he crosses the line to take the win ahead of Gareth Williamson, Conrad Little, Simon Parkin. A slightly subdued start to his day, and the rest of them come home well behind. Did Wilkinson jump the start there? I think he did. There is number 128 of Steve Wilkinson. He thinks he's won it. Comes up to Gareth Williamson. Close race between those two. They swap places a few times. But will we see a penalty here? Yes, the start marshal talking to Steve Wilkinson there. I think he may have been penalised here. And yes, the 128 has been disqualified. So Gareth Williamson, your winner, ahead of Conrad Little by 1.2 seconds. Simon Parkin third, then Stephen Campbell, Brad Hardman, and the rest of them. Steve Wilkinson disqualified for jumping the start. We lost Dan Ridge early on there as well into retirement with machinery problems. Bad luck to Steve Wilkinson then. The win goes to Gareth Williamson. And now it's on to the other half of the adult intermediate entry. The names to look out for in this one should include Jay Matthews, number 48, second in the points, 12 points down on Simon Parkin coming into this weekend. George Sturgis, who is fourth in the points, Chris Jenner in fifth. The lineup for this one sees on the front row Matthews, Jenner, Terry Pywell on the 216, 142, which is Ian Cherry. Second row Danny Lonsdale, Lee Sadler and Stephen Gernhill. And the third row James O'Hara, 81 of Jamie Robertson, George Sturgis and Max Inman. So Gary Inman in the previous race, so the Inman family represented again here. See one or two flashes of sunlight. A couple of races ago, that's disappeared back into the Welsh clouds again now. We get ready for adult intermediate heat number 2. 42 there on the front row in bright red and blue, that's Ian Cherry. Possibly somebody with problems here. 112 of Lee Sadler, maybe just taking his correct slot. 48, that's Jay Matthews, second in the points on the Honda. He could be the favourite here. Taking the front row. 66 at the back there is James O'Hara. Some good riders in this field. 217, that is Stephen Gernhill. 226 of Danny Lonsdale. The start marshal's just making sure that everybody's in the correct position. One or two latecomers possibly here just being signalled forward there. There is one of our latecomers. It's the it says number 44 on that machine possibly. So we're almost ready then for our second intermediate race of the day. We get the all clear from the start marshals, waiting for the green light, and off they go. 155 George Sturgis was the last man to line up. He makes a good start from the back of the grid. into that first turn. They go it side by side between Jay Matthews and Ian Cherry for the lead. Down the back straight they go. Danny Lonsdale trying to come through as well in 2.26, but it's Matthews with the lead. Lonsdale up into second place, pushes Ian Cherry out wide there. That forces Sturgis to take avoiding action, nearly hit the tyres. That's dropped George Sturgis rather back down the order as Lonsdale goes through, takes the lead. Down the straights, Danny Lonsdale, number 2.26, an aggressive first lap there, and he's got the early lead ahead of the 48s of Jay Matthews. The battle further back in the order. Sturgis is in there trying to recover after being pushed wide, goes round the outside there, it's 3 wide almost on the turn. Race starts to sort itself out. Lonsdale leads the way. Again, hard to tell who some of these riders are. Their number plates covered in mud. 81 there, that's Jamie Robertson on the red machine. 155 on the inside, George Sturgis on the attack on the back of, goes through on the inside, that's Lee Sadler, number 122, he's overtaken. Identification is improving as the day goes on, as we get used to the riders. Through go the leaders. Danny Lonsdale up front on the 2.26. There's George Sturgis, number 155, fourth in the points. Coming into this round here at Amman Valley. The challenge on here on the back of Lonsdale, possibly a back marker, though he was lapping out as Max Inman, number 14, going a lap down. Number 14 we saw on the grid, not 44, apologies there. As I said earlier in the race, one or two of these numbers a bit hard to read. Coming towards the closing stages now. The sun comes out again here in Amman Valley. Very slippery out there. 2.16 moving through. It's Terry Pywell. They're not going to catch Danny Lonsdale. 2.26. He takes the win. Confirm the rest of the results in a moment. They closed him down slightly in the closing stages there, but Danny Lonsdale, that aggressive first lap, earned him the win there. Impressive win it was as well. Enjoyable stuff there from the adult intermediate category. Their second heat, Danny Lonsdale the winner by just under a second. Chris Jenner coming through in the closing stages for second ahead of Jay Matthews. Then George Sturgis fourth ahead of Lee Sadler. Terry Pywell in sixth position. Max Inman the final finisher, a lap down. 11 bikes making it home in that. Well, now it is on to the big guns. Next up it will be the pro category. Led coming into this round by the Spaniard Gerard Bailo. He's won 2 rounds this year, a cracking final at Peterborough and also at Greenfield. The first round won by Gary Birtwistle at Kings Lynn on the number 11 machine. So 2 heats coming up for the pros. Number 33 already on the grid is Sean Kelly, riding in 3 classes today. Alongside him 41 of Angus Goff. 58 up to the line, Michael Dijkstra, the Dutchman. Number 95 is out there. Possibly it's number 95. I think that might be Joe Banks on that machine. Confirm the line up here. Angus Goff, Sean Kelly and Michael Dijkstra on the front row. Rob Meir, number 500, the ex-Speedway rider, alongside Gary Birtwistle, third in the championship, the round 1 winner on row 2. 116 of Sam Hurst, then Neil McQueen, Joe Banks and Ferran Sastre from Spain on row 3. So there's Joe Banks. I think it's a case of mistaken identity there once again. One of our riders on the back row. I think that's Sam Hurst with the wrong number on the side of his machine there. So apologies there. It is Sam on the inside of row 3. Watch for Ferran Sastre, the Spaniard, from the back. Away we go then with the first race for the pro category. Down towards the first turn, it's Michael Dijkstra who has made the start on number 58. He leads them away around the first turn. He's already being challenged as they go down the back straights. Fairly close. I think that might be Gary Birtwistle trying to make a move for the lead here around the outside. He's been held off there, Birtwistle, by Michael Dijkstra as they complete the first lap of this race. Third place is 500 of Rob Meir, the former Speedway rider. He's had a couple of podiums in his flat track career so far, but he's challenged here by the Spaniard Ferran Sastre, one of 3 Spanish riders competing in the pro category this weekend. We'll see the other 2 out in heat 2. Birtwistle chasing, and now they're really getting up to full speed as the track's just starting to dry out. Mason sorting itself out, somebody running wide there off the turn. Sastre in 215 takes advantage, chasing Rob Beer. That was the 41 who ran wide, Angus Goff. Still out in front. Here's Michael Dijkstra ahead of Gary Birtwistle. Throws it into the turn. Birtwistle second, Beer and Sastre now side by side. Ferran Sastre up the outside. Can he take third place away? Was trying to ride two machines at the same time there. They're that close. Sastre around the outside takes third place. It is the Spaniards who dominate so many disciplines of motorcycle racing internationally, road racing and trials in particular. They're trying to dominate flat track the same way. Out in front, though, it is the number 58 of Michael Dijkstra from Holland. Gary Birtwistle in second place, winner of round one at Kings Lynn in Norfolk. The best of the Flying Dutchman here in South Wales. This is looking good for Michael Dijkstra. He's heading for victory in Pro Heats number one. He takes the flag ahead of Birtwistle. Third place is Sastre, and Rob Beer looks like he may have been caught almost there on the line for fourth. We'll confirm that in a moment. Rob Beer, if he hang on for fourth place. We will wait and see when we confirm the results in a second. Michael Dijkstra confirmed as your winner on the number 58 machine, leading all the way from the start despite a challenge early on from Gary Birtwistle on the number 11. He'll certainly be pleased with that. Dijkstra the winner by 1 second ahead of Birtwistle, then Sastre third. Rob Beer just held Angus Goff at the line for fourth place, then Sam Hurst sixth, Joe Banks in seventh, Sean Kelly and Neil McQueen rounding out the 9 finishers. The other half of the pro entry out next then, and Gerard Bailo, the championship leader, will be the favourite here on the number 17 bike. Gerard Bailo with 2 A-final wins to his name so far, including that quite superb success at Peterborough at the East of England Arena in one of the very best flat track races we have seen over the last couple of years. Number 1 will be his main challenger, Toby Hales, a former champion. He's fourth in the points at the moment. His best result this year has been fourth in A-finals at Peterborough and at Greenfield TT. They're the two to watch in this one then. Number 19 grinning up with them. That is Jordan Miller, sharing the front row with the number 76 of Sky Adams, one of the leading ladies of flat track. Sky Adams, Jordan Miller on the front row, then Toby Hales, Gerard Bailo and Frank Serra, the other Spaniard, on row 2. And Leah Tokla will start at the back. Possibly the fastest lady racer here today. Sky Adams will try to challenge her though. He starts to settle into line then. There is the number 15 Frank Serra on the black machine. Can anyone stop Gerard Bailo is the question. If anyone can, Toby Hales can. Away they go. Down to the first turn. It is Jordan Miller who's made the best start on number 19, challenged by Bailo already. Around the first turn, the race side by side between Serra and Hales. Hales comes through into third place with Jordan Miller, who's got the early lead on the number 19 machine. Now he's currently only 13th in the points. He's gone wide there on the turn. Gerard Bailo doesn't need asking twice, and through he goes. Side by side as they come down the straight. Miller's fighting back though. This is good riding by Jordan Miller. He cuts ahead of Gerard Bailo. This is good racing for a first heat, and Bailo barges his way up the inside. Miller gets sandwiched between the two machines there of Bailo and Toby Hales, who was creeping up on the outside. They hadn't noticed him coming there, and here comes Hales now up the inside to challenge for the lead. This is unusually fierce for an early heat. Bailo from Hales. Jordan Miller down to third. That was a great effort in the early stages, but here comes Toby Hales up the inside. He's going to try and take the lead, and he does so around the turn. Now, this is terrific racing from the pro category, making light of the muddy conditions. Frank Serra's still there, I think, is fourth place now. But Toby Hales has taken the lead from Gerard Bailo, the championship leader. Hales, the former champion, powers away in front. Getting quite a lead over number 17 of Bailo. Third place is still Jordan Miller. No, it's not. Number 18 has come through. It's, sorry, number 15. Number 18 on his back. That's number 15, Frank Serra, I apologise, up into third place, ahead of Jordan Miller, our early pace setter. It's looking good for Toby Hales here. Second of our pro heats, second of 6 heats for the pros. I said earlier there'll be no finals today, unfortunately, so it's all about heat points. Maybe that's why they're going all out from the off here. Toby Hales then heading for victory in our second pro heat, the second of the first round of heats. Hales wins it ahead of Balo. Serra third. Fourth across the line, like Jordan Miller. We'll confirm the official finishing order in just a moment. No doubt about your winner there, though. Great ride through the pack by Toby Hales from fourth to first. He's certainly very pleased indeed with that one. Great race with Gerard Balo, and full credit Jordan Miller as well, who led the early stages. Just couldn't hold off the championship favourites quite there. That was very good indeed. Win goes to Toby Hales by just under a second ahead of Balo. Frank Serra third, and Jordan Miller taking fourth. Leah Toklov and Sky Adams completing the 6 finishers. That concludes our first round of races then here in Amman Valley, round 4 of the Indian Motorcycles DTRA UK Dirt Track Nationals for 2019. Into our second round, we begin once again with the mini bike modified category. On the front row of the grid for this one we have 68 Kaylee Hankins, 67 of Dimitri Costa and Freddie Trott Sr. on the 53. Second row Joe Banks, Jez Scott and Frank Casoli on the 23. Third row Sean Kelly on 33, 696 Chris Bailey and Jeremy Skip on number 64. Joe Banks the winner first time out, very first winner of the day. Still fairly boggy conditions out there, but slightly better than earlier on. The rain now starting to hold off. We get ready for our second round of races here at Amman Valley, round 4 of the 2019 Indian Motorcycle DTRA UK Flat Track Nationals. Looks like we are just about to hit the line, awaiting the all clear to get this one underway. Will it be a double for Joe Banks? He was very quick off the line in his first ride. Here his challenger could well be Dimitri Costa, who leads the points coming into this round. Joe Banks won round 3, but that's the only round he's contested at this level so far. A regular pro rider, using this as a bit of a warm-up for the pro events today. So riders focus on the green light, they are under starters orders and off they go. Got a lift away there for Jez Scott on the 157, who's going to get the lead into the first turn. Looks like it's the 53 of Freddie Trott who leads them away this time, ahead of the 36 of Banks in second place. Third is Dimitri Costa. Then we've got Kaylee Hankins on the 68. But it's Trott who leads the early stages. Banks holding off the number 67 there. That's Costa in third place. Dimitri Costa doubling up today with the vintage category. Starting to sort themselves out. There's 64 and 157 side by side. Jeremy Skip and Jez Scott. They race their way up the inside past the 68 of Kaylee Hankins, who's dropped back after a very quick start. Freddie Trott Sr. leads the way on the 53. Freddie Jr. had a win the second in the first 2 rounds today, but this season rather, but has not appeared today, has not appeared in round 3 either. They're starting to string out at the front of the field now. Joe Banks still there in second place, but is he slowing there, Joe Banks? Yes, he's got a problem. The hand goes up, and Joe Banks unfortunately is out of it. So we'll see a new winner here, whatever happens. Joe Banks has retired, and it's 53 of Freddie Trott Sr. out in front then of this mini bike modified race 2. 64 of Jeremy Skip being caught there by Kaylee Hankins. She goes through around the outside in the black and red there. Racing after our leading group now, headed by Freddie Trott Sr. by a clear margin. Coming up behind them there is on the inside, I think that might be the 33 of Sean Kelly in the red helmet there. Yes, it is. We've seen him successful in the vintage category today. He's leading the 2-stroke category in the vintage division. Runs a bit wide there off the turn. Now attacking Jez Scott. Kaylee Hankins has already gone through. Fighting here in the midfield. They're not going to catch Freddie Trott Sr. though. He's out in front as Kelly to the inside. Whoops, down goes Sean Kelly. Oh dear. Got caught up there in a rut on the inside. He comes down. I think he's okay though. Yes, Sean Kelly walks away. An eventful heat for the mini mods here. Heat number 2. Freddie Trott Sr. keeping his head up front while all around him seemingly are losing theirs. Going to be a win for the 53. The rest of them charge home behind him. I think it's going to be Dimitri Costa in second. We'll confirm that in a moment. Kaylee Hankins heads home the midfield group. It's an eventful race for the mini bike modified category. Confirm the result results in just a moment then. Sean Kelly is okay after going over the high side there on the turn, attacking Kaylee Hankins. Freddie Trott Senior confirmed as your winner. Well done to him. Gets back into the pits to clean the mud off. Things slowly beginning to dry out here in the Amman Valley. Freddie Trott Senior the winner by just over 2 seconds ahead of Costa. Kaylee Hankins holding off Jez Scott and Jeremy Skip for third. And then Chris Bailey, the final finisher, in sixth. Sean Kelly, a faller. And we lost Joe Banks with machinery problems preventing his double. Freddie Trott Senior, though, gets the 15 points with time of just over 2 minutes. Next up, it's on to the Thunderbike division for their second round of heats. Big field of Thunderbikes here, so that was Jeremy de Combar, number 17. Barry Stevenson on the front of the grid on the number 299 machine. He lines up along with Jonas Hendricks and Gary Inman for this heat number 3 for the Thunderbikes. Gareth Howes on his own on the second row. Then De Combar and Chris Jenner completing the grid. So the smaller half of the entry, if you like, for this third race for the Thunderbikes. Jeremy de Combar, the Frenchman, off the inside of the back row. Barry Stevenson looked quick earlier on, so he could be in with a chance here. Chris Hatton and Dan Ridge, the winners first time out in the Thunderbike heats. They're out in heat 4, the next race coming up. Jonas Hendricks into the grid on the treble 7. Looks like we're going with just 5 bikes possibly for this one. Then we've got one missing off the front row, no Gary Inman, unless he's started. Yes, he has started off the back as he did earlier on. Entering the shot there as Barry Stevenson makes a good start, but trying to get around the outside is Gareth Howes. He goes into the lead down the back straight on the 131, and up with them is is that Chris Jenner in fact that's taken the lead? We'll check that. Yes, it's Jenner that's come through into the lead, my apologies. Gareth Howes there in second now. Stevenson has gone down to third. Chris Jenner with a much quicker start than I think anyone was anticipating there. Gary Inman is in 4th place from the back of the lineup on the number 13 after a last-minute hitch as he went to line up. And Chris Jenner, number 134, getting away here at the front in this third race of the day for the Thunderbikes. Starting to sort themselves out now. Gary Inman giving chase on the 13. It's Jenner with a clear lead over Howes in 2nd place. Racing in 3rd position is now Gary Inman. Early pace setter falling back here. It's Barry Stevenson on the 299. Controlling the pace out in front then, Chris Jenner on the 134. He's pulling away from Gareth Howes in 2nd place. Good speed down the straights there on the number 134 machine. Chris Jenner currently only 9th in the Thunderbike point standing, supported by Sportax. Did get a 4th place in round 3 at the Greenfield TT circuit. Is that Gary Inman slowing up there, I think, possibly on the turn? Jenner continues to set the pace. Gareth Howes in 2nd. We may have lost Gary Inman. He has been having bike problems today. We'll check that after the race. There's Jeremy de Combar. He's got ahead of Barry Stevenson, who started so well in this race but has dropped back on the 299. He's got a bit of a snake on there out of the turn, struggling with the muddy conditions, I think. But it is going to be a win for Chris Jenner on the 134 in our 3rd Thunderbike race of the day. He takes the flag. The rest of them come home. Gary Inman does make it home, but a long way behind. We'll confirm the results in just a moment then. Keeping his visor clean there was a vital factor, I would say, for Chris Jenner. You can see there, not using goggles like many other riders. Chris takes the win in our 3rd Thunderbike race of the day here in the Amman Valley. Jenner the winner ahead of Gareth Howes by over 4 seconds. Gary Inman did keep going for 3rd place, albeit some way back. Jeremy de Combar 4th ahead of Barry Stevenson and Jonas Hendricks finishing a lap down. So all 6 riders did go the distance, while then Chris Jenner taking the win. The other half of the Thunderbike entry out on track next. Points leader John Bell will feature in this field on number 18. Tom Clemens will be out as well on the number 42, looking for their first wins of the day. Our earlier winners, Chris Hatton, number 170, who's 6th in the points, and Dan Ridge, who's 3rd, will be out in this one as well. Looks like it's number 21 on pole, Nick Linnell. Alongside 112, that's Lee Sadler. On the front row along with Tom Clemens on the red number 42 bike there. On the second row, Guto Llewellyn on the 79, number 18 John Bell and 28 Dan Ridge, Chris Hatton on 170, treble 3 Kane Dalton and 66 James O'Hara on the third row, so a bigger field of 9 bikes. This time, Tom Clemens off the outside of the front row and 28 Dan Ridge, I would say, will be the favourites here. I think Chris Hatton may well get boxed in off row 3 on the charge down to the first turn. We get the all clear from the start marshals. They're under starters' orders. A bit of creeping, but they get underway. Down to the first turn, Dan Ridge burst through the middle. John Bell initially got away well, but he slowed up there. I think John Bell's got a problem. Yes, he's slowed down. Oh dear, the championship leader in trouble. So 21 comes through there, 21 and 42. Tom Clemens and Nick Linnell setting the early pace here. I think Tom Clemens goes out wide there, now cuts back in to the inside. A good duel here at the front of the field. It's 28 of Dan Ridge who's come through. The 21 of Linnell has dropped back. Ridge coming through on the inside to take up the running now after a flying start. It's Dan Ridge who leads the way, and yes, John Bell unfortunately has pulled up on the number 18 machine. Nick Linnell coming under fire there down the back straights. On the 21, he made a decent start, but it came to nothing. He's now in the fight for third place with Guto Llewellyn on the number 79 machine. It also competes in the vintage category today. Guto Llewellyn failed to finish his first Thunderbike race, so he needs a decent result here. He's got round Nick Linnell into third position. Over the bumps there on the turn. They're being reeled in by Chris Hatton. I thought he may get boxed in on the run to the first turn. It looks like I was proven right. He's further back in the order in this one. Down the top turn they go. So Llewellyn trying to catch the leaders. I don't think he'll catch Dan Ridge here though. This is a good ride by the 28. He's way up in front. As through goes Chris Hatton now into fourth place, the man in black and white. 21, Nick Linnell continues to fall back. It's going to be a win for Dan Ridge. Here comes the 66 at the outside, that's James O'Hara. Nick Linnell losing another place there, he's down to 6th now. Get out in front it is Dan Ridge, Tom Clemens, number 42, in second place. An ideal opportunity if John Bell's having bike problems to try and take the championship lead away with his third round win of the season. Try and catch Dan Ridge here though, as Hatton up the inside there passes Guto Llewellyn for third place. Is he going to hang on to the line for that third position? It certainly is. Checkered flag is out. Your winner is Dan Ridge on the number 28 ahead of Tom Clemens on 42. Well done to both of them. Dan Ridge, his second win of the day. That puts him into the lead of the Thunderbike classification, our first double winner of the day. We certainly enjoyed that one. Bit of lap traffic in that one as well. Win going to Dan Ridge by nearly 3 seconds ahead of Tom Clemens, with Chris Hatton a long way back in third, having battled past Guto Llewellyn. James O'Hara passing Nick Linnell as well late on for 5th position. Lee Sadler in 7th, and Kane Dalton on the 333 machine finishing a lap behind. That's the second round for the Thunderbikes over and done with. Now back to the mini bikes, the mini stock division up next. 777 Jonas Hendricks leading them up to the grid. The man in blue, number 26, that's Gary Wigston. Winner first time out was Archie May on the number 9. He'll go for a double here. Look out for Sam Neville, he knows how to come through from the back. Kaylee Hankins competing in both our mini bike divisions today. Archie May is going to be the man to look out for here, the young gun. Jez Scott, Sam Neville and Gary Wigston on the front row. Kaylee Hankins, 130 of Ross Jackson, Jonas Hendricks and Giovanni Belliosi on row 2, then Ruth Mooney, Archie May and Wag Scott on row 3. 3 ladies on this grid then. Wag Scott, always a lively performer. Seen her in action at the Dirtquake events as well, with all their bizarre bikes. Dirtquake being held at Arlington Stadium, Eastbourne, this summer. Getting ready then for heat number 2 for the mini stock division. Archie May, the last to settle on row 3. Won many youth events and holding his own in against the senior riders in the mini stock division as well. 166 Giovanni Belliosi has lined up in the wrong place. He should be on row 2. He's now in position. Ready then for mini stocks heat number 2 then. The revs rise and away they go. Decent start by Kaylee Hankins from the inside of the second row there, but down to the first row. Looks like it's Jez Scott who's got away best on the 157. Gary Wigston trying to come around the outside. Here comes Archie May on the number 9. Is he going to take the lead as they come off the second bend? He certainly is, ahead of Jez Scott and Gary Wigston. They tuck down into the position almost like a skier on their machines down the straights. 4 wide, look at this for third place. Kaylee Hankins on the inside there. Gary Wigston, Sam Neville's come through in 105. Jez Scott in there as well. Stuck behind them, that's Wag Scott, I think. Jez Scott, there you can see the position I mentioned. Right back on the rear mudguard. Was tucked back like a skier going downhill. It's worked as well for Jez Scott. He stays ahead of this battle for second. Charge their way along the straight. Kaylee Hankins up the inside, Sam Neville, Gary Wigston, and behind them Wag Scott as well on the 197. 5 of them fighting it out for second place. Terrific stuff. But it's Archie May, number 9, out in front once again. Here's Scott on the outside being tracked by Sam Neville. Gary Wigston in the middle, Wag Scott on 197 on the inside. Kaylee Hankins has got away from this group into second place now. She's running well. There's nearly a little bit of bumping and boring, and Jez Scott makes the fatal mistake of looking behind, and Wag goes through. Sam Neville in behind them on the 105. Kaylee Hankins is getting away, so is Archie May in the lead. Some great stuff from the mini bikes stock division for the standard machines. Lovely style of Jez Scott there, right down behind his handlebars, just like a World Long Track Championship rider. There was Long Track at Speedway held here at Amman in the 70s. Sam Neville goes round the outside there, but he won't get through past Jez Scott. Gary Wigston's got up the inside of both of them on the 26. Archie May out in front then. Wag Scott's got clear into third on the 197 as everybody else scrabbles behind. Great battle going on here for what is now fourth place. Wigston, Neville and Jez Scott. The sun comes out again here in South Wales. It's going to be a win for Archie May. He's missed all the fun out in front. Gary Wigston trying his hardest to hold off Sam Neville. Jez Scott trying to get up the inside. Wag Scott will take third. Second for Kaylee Hankins, but it is a win for Archie May. There is the checkered flag. Gary Wigston just holds off Sam Neville for fourth place. A great race there from the mini stock division, one of the highlights of the day so far. Archie May took the win on the number 9. Well done to the youngster. Certainly has a big future in British motorcycling, whatever discipline he chooses to follow ahead of him. And well done Kaylee Hankins, a fine second place. So the win going to Archie May. Be interesting to see his winning margin there. 3 seconds over Kaylee Hankins, with a couple of seconds further back Wag Scott in third, then Gary Wigston and Sam Neville just ahead of Jez Scott. Great fight between those three. Giovanni Belliosi was 7th, Ross Jackson 8th, Jonas Hendricks in 9th, and Ruth Mooney rounding out the top 10. Next up we move back to our youth classes. Next will be the youth junior division. Wyatt Hopkins completely dominated the first race for them. I think the biggest winning margin of the day so far. So we'll see what he can do in this one. Going for his double, his main challenge will be Oscar Osborne Wilkes and Paddy Moore, more than likely. They start to form themselves up on the grid then. The front row for this youth junior race will be 609, which is Alfie Croft, Jaden Lewis on 72 and Marty Skip on 79. Maddie Banks on the 36, Wyatt Hopkins and Paddy Moore form up row 2, and Oscar Osborne Wilkes and Toby Johnson will start from row 3. The start marshal calling them into line. I think Jaden Lewis on the number 72 has to be the smallest of the riders on show in any class here today, possibly the youngest as well, along with the number 79, that's Marcy Skip. full credit to all the riders for putting on a great show here today. It was initially thought this event may not go ahead because of the weather. For 100, Wyatt Hopkins in the black and red there with the yellow crash helmet. He'll start as the favourite, even though he's going off the back. He's not going off the back, he's now being called into line onto row 2 alongside Paddy Moore. They'll start as the favourites for this one. It's beginning to rise, and it looks like we have got a full field. One rider a little further back than the others at the moment anyway. It's possibly a problem here for one of our riders, number 36. That's Maddie Banks, who has not yet lined up. She can't get her bike going. And it's pushed onto the grid. Is she not going to start? 3 members of the Banks family racing here today. Maddie, Lizzie and of course Joe we've seen already win a race in the mini-mods. Looks like we are now ready then, or are we? Possibly another problem at the back there. A few problems keeping their bikes going, maybe the water's getting to them, these youngsters. Could anyone stop Wyatt Hopkins' dominant run then? We're about to find out. Looks like we are now ready to go racing with our youth junior category. Revs begin to rise, focusing on the green lights, and off they go. Maddie Banks only just gets away, and as expected, Wyatt Hopkins breezes through from the second row, along with Paddy Moore. Looks like Moore's got the lead, indeed he has, around the first turn, so it's Paddy Moore who takes the early lead, chased by Wyatt Hopkins down the back straight. Hopkins will draw up alongside him and goes through. Into the lead goes Wyatt Hopkins then. Clear of Paddy Moore already. No stopping Wyatt Hopkins. The first lap of the race. Effectively 4.5 lap races here today. Third is the 6:09. That's Alfie Croft, but he's being reeled in by the 65 of Oscar Osborne Wilkes. He goes through on the inside, up into third place. It's Wyatt Hopkins away and gone in front. A long lap for these young riders, half a mile. Taking it in their stride, certainly, particularly Wyatt Hopkins. Moore still in second on the 1:45. Things continue to dry out here in South Wales. Hopkins out for a Saturday ride. Upping the slower markers, Jade Lewis on the 72 and Marty Skip on the 79 go a lap down. They are learning all the time. They're the youngest riders in the field. To be out there putting on a show. And little Jade Lewis. There is Marcy Skip just keeping to her line, letting the quicker riders go by. All a learning exercise for these youngsters. We've seen the likes of Archie May come up through the youth classes over the years. Wyatt Hopkins, will he be the next big star of DTRA flat track racing? Going the right way about it. He's unbeaten this year in his category. Oscar Osborne Wilkes chasing in third, having taken Alfie Croft. Now straight they come. He says, has he got his sights set on Paddy Moore here for second place? I think he has. They're not going to catch Wyatt Hopkins. Are they going to catch Paddy Moore on the 1:45? Lewis is lapped once again, as is Marty Skip, so Wyatt Hopkins heading for victory. I think Paddy Moore has done enough for second place here. Wyatt Hopkins will take the win. Moore coming in for second place. The third will go to the number 65 of Oscar Osborne Wilkes. Well done to our youth juniors then. Not easy today, especially on such a big circuit for the youngsters in the youth junior category. Alfie Croft, I think, will take fourth place, but it is a win for the number 100 of Wyatt Hopkins once again. There's the 161 of Toby Johnson. We didn't see much of him in that race, unfortunately. Young Wyatt it is who takes the win once again. Surely on for 4 wins out of 4 in rounds this year. Hopkins the winner by over 9 seconds ahead of Paddy Moore, with Oscar Osborne Wilkes a further 3 seconds back. Alfie Croft in 4th ahead of Maddie Banks, so she did get her bike going in the end. Toby Johnson a lap down in 6th, and then Marcy Skip and Jaden Lewis. Good stuff there from the youth juniors once again. Now onto the youth inters. Ted Wilkinson starting as the favourite, looking for his third round win of the season. Beaten into fourth place in the first round at Kings Lynn. Thomas Hunt taking the win on that occasion, with Charlie Kelly second and Dan Mason third. Two of them are not here though. For this one, Charlie Kelly is here. Here with the main challenger to Ted Wilkinson in this one. Ride and skid it says on the side of Ted's machine. That's certainly what they're doing. Plenty of skidding here today in the damp conditions. Ted Wilkinson, a controlled victory first time out, and he's on pole for this second race for the youth intermediates. Alongside him will be Lizzie Banks on number 36, second row Charlie Kelly, Luke Elliott and Erin Dyer, Wilbur Skip and Senna Ace Summers. Great name that is, rounding out the grid. Erin Dyer, like problems blighting her so far this year. I would say the tallest rider in this field. 64 there on row 3. Away they go, and Erin Dyer a bit slow away. Two riders a bit slow away there. A good start by Luke Elliott on the number 2. 78 Wilbur Skip, not 64. He's on a borrowed machine from the back of the grid. They are underway. Luke Elliott's got away very well indeed. Round the outside there, Senna Ace Summers getting ahead of Erin Dyer, who's going to be leading this as they go into turn 3. Ted Wilkinson has got away in front, so he leads the way. All change further back in the pack. That's Wilbur Skip on the borrowed number 64 machine. Got ahead of Luke Elliott on that, as we said, rather primitive looking number 2 bike, a classic bike in one of the youth classes. Down into fourth place. Wilkinson with the lead by a very clear margin in the early stages. Charlie Kelly, I think, is up into second place on the 46. And with two numbers, bit of lap scorer's nightmare there. Wilbur Skip in third place. There's Senna Ace Summers. There's Charlie Kelly in second place on the number 46, the man in the Lotus race shirt there, you can see. Ace Summers chasing Luke Elliott on the number 2. You do get some weird and wonderful machines in UK flat track racing. I remember in the mini bike class at Peterborough, one rider came out on the electric scooter for his bike. Luke Elliott up the inside now, breezes past Wilbur Skip up into third position. Luke is currently fourth in the points behind Ted Wilkinson, Charlie Kelly and Tom Hunt. Wilbur fighting back, he's only 6th in the points behind Erin Dyer. Great fight here between these three for third place, because Senna Ace Summers up on the outside on the 31. Riding good style there, right down behind his handlebars. He's been watching the senior riders clearly. Well, Ted Wilkinson's well out in front ahead of Charlie Kelly. He's going to take the win. Luke Elliott runs wide. Coming off the turn there, Wilbur Skip's going to try and drag race past him on the inside, but Elliott keeps the throttle on and takes third place. Way ahead of them was Ted Wilkinson on the number 128. Almost lapping that group, battling for third place there, I think. Still they battle on. Yes, Wilkinson's taken the flag. He was nearly a lap up on these three. They're still racing for third place. It's Elliott who has it at the moment ahead of Wilbur Skip and Senna Ace Summers. Summers up the inside, he's going to take Wilbur Skip on the final turn for fourth place. Good move by Senna there, and he snatches fourth from the 78. Ted Wilkinson confirmed as the winner by 11 seconds ahead of Charlie Kelly, and he nearly lapped the third place battle. Elliott third, Summers fourth, Skip fifth. A lap down in 6th and 7th, Erin Dyer and Lizzie Banks. Ted Wilkinson dominant once again then in our youth intermediate category. Onto the youth seniors next. Jack Bell and Archie May will be the two favourites. Been the top youth riders in the DTRA for a few years now, those two. Jack Bell has also ridden some speedway second halves at Peterborough at the East of England Arena. He'll start as the favourite here in the 5-rider youth senior category coming up next. Officials calling them forward onto the grid. There is Jack Bell, the number 93. The winner first time out. Grid lining up with, on the front row, Leon Collier, number 91, and 118 Fergus Bluff. Luke Gardner and Archie May on row 2. Jack Bell starting at the back this time. Let's see if he can make his way through. Fergus Bluff led the early stages of the first race, couldn't hold off Jack Bell though. Into line then ready for race 2 for the youth seniors. Off they go. Another good start by Fergus Bluff on the 118. Archie May through the middle into second place. Jack Bell's already up to third, now going second around the outside on the first turn. He goes into the wheel tracks of Fergus Bluff. May is there behind them in third. They go down the straight up the inside. Jack Bell goes to the inside and he goes through. Well, that didn't take long, did it? From the back of the grid into the lead in the space of less than a lap of the Amman Valley circuits. But Fergus Bluff is not finished yet. He's fighting back on the 118, but Bell very rapid indeed down the straight there. May in third place. It's Luke Gardner fourth and Leon Collier fifth. Away goes Jack Bell, charging down the straight there. Superb speed he's shown. I reckon we'll see Jack as a pro rider in a few years' time with a pace like this. We'll see how much the track, again, I've said it before, but we'll see how much the track has dried out and the speed's increasing accordingly. Perhaps fortunate that rather than a fence, there is plenty of runoff area here at Amman Valley. Fergus Bluff went too wide there, coming off the turn, has lost ground. Meanwhile, Luke Gardner goes past Archie May, up into third position. Good stuff from Luke. We saw Archie May in fine form in the mini bikes earlier on, but in the youth category, he seems to have met his match here today. Luke Gardner in the green and orange there. Holding on to third place. Won't catch the leaders though, I don't think, and Bluff has dropped back after that slight mistake coming on the turn a couple of laps ago. He's not going to hold on to Jack Bell's coattails this time. Bell charges away in front. 2 wins out of 2 for number 93, Jack Bell. Fergus Bluff is going to have to set it for second using his favoured outside line. It's Bell who comes in to take the win. Second place will go to Fergus Bluff, quite a long way back at the flag. Third is going to be Luke Gardner, second in the points ahead of Archie May at the moment. May will take fourth and Leon Collier will round out the finishers on the number 91 bike. Jack Bell almost making it look easy there. He won't have found it easy though, pretty rough out there today. 2 wins out of 2 though. He'll aim for a hat-trick in heat number 3 later on. That will guarantee him the victory in today's round, of course, with no finals being held. Bell the winner by 4.5 seconds ahead of Fergus Bluff. Luke Gardner a further 4 seconds back in third, then Archie May and Leon Collier rounding out the 5 finishers. Next we're on to the vintage class once again. Successful first time out, Sean Kelly on his 2-stroke Suzuki and Guto Llewellyn. The other winners in the respective classes, in 2-stroke it was Darren Legg in Heat 2, and in Heat 1 the top 4-stroke was Carl Swatteridge, number 257. So Llewellyn starting from the front in this one. He starters favourite for vintage Heat number 3. Lineup sees the 175 of Andy John, Mike Fisher and Guto Llewellyn on the front row, then Rick Bearcroft, Jeremy Skip and Darren Legg on row 2, Sean Kelly, Dimitri Costa and John Jacker on row 3. So most of our front runners in the vintage categories are out in this one, with the entry being split into 2 for these heats, of course. It's going to be an interesting one. 39 there, Rick Bearcroft on the inside of row 2, and 257 Carl Swatteridge here, possibly with a problem. Not sure what's going on here, or has he? I think he might have come out for the wrong race there and gone back in again. Yes, he's out in the next race, Carl Swatteridge, one of our leading 4-stroke riders. We're underway with heat number 3 for the vintage category, and it's going to be Mike Fisher, number 80 on the Voltaco, who leads the way into the first turn, going for the outside there. To tell who that mud-splattered rider is going down the outside. I think it's Dimitri Costa, indeed it is, and he takes the lead. The current 4-stroke class points leader, and Fisher's gone backwards here, he's down to third, could be fourth, as they come off the turn and round the outside there comes Guto Llewellyn. Great move by the 79. Fisher back up the inside, gives Sean Kelly a good shove there. They're fighting for the lead in the two-stroke category points as well. Guto Llewellyn, no points on the board so far, so chance here for a good score to move him up the table in the vintage category. Mike Fisher staying ahead of Sean Kelly in the battle of the two strokes. Dimitri Costa in second place on the 67. One round two at Peterborough in the vintage category. Mike Fisher's after him here on the number 80. In the red and yellow, almost the colours of Wimbledon Speedway that he's wearing there. And through the middle, look at this, Sean Kelly up the inside. Costa's gone back to fourth. Now attacking Fisher is Sean Kelly. He's riding superbly on that Suzuki number 33. Up the outside into the far turn, and he goes second. Or does he? Because Fisher's fighting back on the inside run there. This is good stuff from the vintage bikes. Guto Llewellyn missing all the front, He's cleared off out in front. Sean Kelly in second place now, leading the two strokes. Next in the order it's Fisher, then we've got Dimitri Costa. A bit of smoke from Costa's machine there, just as well that it's the last lap this time. The yellow flag is out with the black cross. Last lap Dimitri Costa looked like he was in trouble. I think that was his machine that was belching smoke. No problem for Guto Llewellyn, no, he's heading for victory on the number 79. The win in heat number 2 in the four-stroke category. Still the fight goes on for the two-stroke lead, and second overall Sean Kelly has it at the moment in the red crash helmet there. It's going to be a win for Llewellyn. Who's going to be second overall and win the two strokes? It is Sean Kelly ahead of Mike Fisher. Great race between those two. Confirm the rest of the order in a moment, because we've got to wait to see if Dimitri Costa, the four-stroke class points leader, made it home there. I saw some smoke from his machine midway through. Guto Llewellyn, your race winner. Our first repeat overall winner in the vintage categories today. Of course, we've got the two categories, two-stroke and four-stroke, racing together. To confirm the rest of the result there. See if everybody made it home indeed in our third vintage heat of the day. Win going to Guto Llewellyn by 3.5 seconds over Sean Kelly, and Mike Fisher in third. Dimitri Costa did make it home in fourth ahead of Rick Bearcroft, then Jeremy Skip, John Jacker, Andy John and Darren Legg rounding out the 9 finishers. So Llewellyn and Kelly winning their classes in first and second places. Another heat coming up for the vintage bikes. Next up, heat number 4. Carl Swatteridge will come out for the right race. This time, John Harrison and John Dyer from the four-stroke class should be leading players here. We are missing a couple of leading two-stroke riders. No Hubert Bastier or Lucia Orcott here this weekend. Ross Jackson and Darren Legg will be the two strokes to watch out for, as well as Ben Eddings, number 404. Didn't get away in his first ride. Coming up to tapes here, hopefully he's fixed his problem. John Harrison, John Dyer and Carl Swatteridge, the leading four strokes to look out for. 257 Swatteridge at the front of the grid. We've got a 5-man field for this one. Away they go. Start there on the outside. Find out who that is in a second. I think that's Ross Jackson. Indeed, it is number 130 that got away best. The yellow Yamaha leads them off into the straights for the first time. So the 130 of Ross Jackson, one of our two-stroke riders, ahead of John Harrison in the green there. Third place, Carl Swatteridge on the 257. Slightly reduced field here for this fourth vintage heat of the day in the sunshine of South Wales. Swatteridge coming under fire from John Dyer on the 101. Already fairly well spread out, but Ross Jackson off from the front row and able to open up a lead on the two-stroke 130 machine. Leads it in perfectly there. John Harrison in second place, second in the four-stroke points behind Dimitri Costa. Second place to him, Peterborough in round 2. It's the third round of the vintage category today. John Harrison is not closing on Ross Jackson here. Are we going to have a two-stroke overall winner. John Harrison in command of the 4-stroke division. They go, no problems at all for the top two. Carl Swatteridge still third on the 257, or is he? No, he's lost out there to 101. John Dyer has come through into third place. Ben Eddings, the other runner, on 404. If I do say in. Legacy car race commentaries. I don't think cars have ever raced here at the Amman Valley circuit. Due to there being no fence. Harrison running a little bit wide there. He's not going to catch race leader Ross Jackson on the 130. He's heading for victory. Wonderful sound of these beautiful vintage bikes. John Harrison the top 4-stroke, Ross Jackson the top 2-stroke will win this one overall. Second flag is out, Jackson the winner ahead of Harrison. Third will go to John Dyer, I think, on the 101. In on Carl Swatteridge. And finally Ben Eddings. Ross Jackson the winner then on the 130 Yamaha. He looks pleased with that one, a 2-stroke overall winner. Number 4 for our vintage category here at the Indian Motorcycle DTRA UK Flat Track Nationals round 4. 4 seconds, just over 4 seconds, the winning margin for Ross Jackson over John Harrison. Third for John Dyer, then Carl Swatteridge and Ben Eddings. Rounding out the 5 finishers, John Harrison the top 4-stroke. Back to the rookie category next up. Big field of rookie riders, 18 of them in total here today, several of them doubling up with the mini bikes or thunder bikes, in Ben Eddings' case the vintage category as well. Large proportion of our riders riding in more than one category today. Busiest of all, Sean Kelly, full credit to him, racing in 3 classes, Pro, Vintage and Mini Mod. The lineup then, Jonas Hendricks, Barry Stevenson and Frank Casoli on the front row. Nicolas Prado, Olivier Cartoyan and Wag Scott on row 2, then Nick Linnell, Giovanni Belliosi and Fabio Gomez lining up on row 3 for rookies heat number 3. Cartoyan already a winner, as is Frank Casoli. They're going to start as the favourites for this one. Casoli on the outside of the front row on the black and red Honda. Wag Scott's behind him. Cartoyan in the blue, white and yellow there with the polka dot sleeves. One Fabio Gomez lines up on the back of the grid. Frank Casoli, the points leader, is going to be the one to watch here on the 23, looking for his second round win of the season, and he's made a good start from the outside of the front row, leads them off. Cartoyan will come through into second place, but being challenged there. That's Gomez from the back of the grid. Good start by Fabio Gomez, and he's going to go into second place as they go down the back straight. He's done it. Fabio Gomez into second place then. Those 3 will start to pull away. Looks like Barry Stevenson has got away into 4th place on the 299 machine. Indeed he has. First 2 starting to pull away from Olivier Cartoyan slightly now. Stevenson in 4th place. Looks like Nick Linnell, number 21, is in 5th. 23, Frank Casoli, also competing in the mini mod category today. He leads them round, chased by Gomez. Casoli can top score today in the heats. It will be his 2nd consecutive round win. He won at the Greenfield TT in Lincolnshire. Too far from the famous motorcycle circuit at Cadwell Park, that venue. Casoli a little bit wide there, chased by Fabio Gomez. Keeping control down the far straights. Cartoyan still 3rd. Won't be a double for him. This of course means that we'll see a new winner in heat number 4, with our 2 previous winners grouped together in this heat 3 for the rookie category. Casoli certainly not looking like a rookie here, nor is Fabio Gomez in that 2nd place. He's not going to catch Frank Casoli, who's heading for victory. Superbly here on the number 23 machine. Casoli just keeping him in sight. Don't think he'll quite find the power to take the 23. Further back in third, still Kartoyan in the yellow and blue there. Battle is on for fourth. Barry Stevenson being reeled in. That's Nick Linnell having a go on the 21. He's going to get through on the inside there, splashing through the puddle on the inside. He goes through, but Stevenson switches back to the inside. Meanwhile, the flag is out. The win goes to Casoli ahead of Gomez. Third is Kartoyan, who's going to get to the line for fourth. Photo finish for fourth place between Barry Stevenson and Nick Linnell. Confirm the rest of the results in a moment. We'll find out who finished in that fourth place. I think Stevenson got there. We'll wait and confirm that in a second. No doubt about your winner, Frank Casoli, on the 23. 2 out of 2. He goes top of the points. Fabio Gomez having to settle the second after that lightning start from the back of the grid lineup. Third for Olivier Kartoyan. Stops to congratulate our race winner there. Result then a win for Casoli by 1.4 seconds over Gomez. Kartoyan third, and Stevenson did just pip Nick Linnell by 0.03 of a second for fourth place. Wag Scott taking sixth, and then a lap down the rest of them. Giovanni Belliosi, Nicolas Prado and Jonas Hendricks 7th, 8th and 9th. Another race for the rookies coming up next. So we'll see the other half of the entry. That means we will see a new winner. Riders to look out for including Sam Neville, Pete Marshall, Danny Norton as well. There's number 191. Off from the front of the grid. With the lineup for this one then, 191. That's David Irons on the front of the grid. Late addition to my entry list. Chris Cooper and Robert Ungar alongside him. Kane Dalton, Sam Neville and Jack Pitt on the second row. Then Tim Newbrook, Ben Eddings, Pete Marshall and Danny Norton on the third row. So David Irons, who missed his first heats, on the pole here. So in fact we've got 19 riders in the rookie division today. An extra addition to the entry list. Sam Neville pulls into line. He could be a favourite here if he gets a decent getaway. Lining up alongside Jack Pitt in the blue and black there on the 172. Irons in black and white. Treble 6 is Tim Newbrook. He could be in with a chance as well. Chris Cooper in the bright blue there in the middle of the front row. 404 of Ben Eddings on his classic Bultaco, one of a couple of these Spanish machines we've got here today. A bit late to the lineup, just push starting his machine. Doubling up of course with the vintage heats, so that's possibly why he's a bit late. A bit of fettling needed. We will see a new winner in this one. We go under starters orders then for Heat 4 for the rookie category. A bit of rolling there from the 57. But we get underway. Ben Eddings hasn't got away. 57 Danny Norton I think might have jumped the start there. We get underway and down to the first turn. The pole sitter David Irons has been swamped, and it's 169 of Chris Cooper with the early lead, but through comes Tim Newbrook on the inside. There's a bit of bumping and barging behind, and who's coming through from the pack? Danny Norton, who slowed up after his initial brief jump start. Tim Newbrook has got the lead on the treble 6. Chris Cooper goes out wide and drops back. And who's that coming through on the inside into second? That's Pete Marshall in the red, blue and black there on number 135. Sam Neville in there as well in the pale red. He goes up to second down the straight. It's all changing in the pack certainly, but out in front as they come up to complete the lap. At 105 there is Sam Neville chasing Tim Newbrook, but Neville's gone very wide there. He clips the I was going to say the fence there, but he clips the tyres and loses second to Pete Marshall. It's Tim Newbrook, number treble 6, out in front. Marshall in second place, Neville in third, Norton is fourth. Good all change yet though. Sam Neville looks quick, he's trying a little bit too hard possibly for the conditions here. Meanwhile, Pete Marshall on 135 is reeling in Tim Newbrook. He's going for the outside on the turn. Does he manage to get the cut back? He's trying for the inside now on Newbrook, who's trying to hold him off. Here comes Neville on the outside. There's a back marker ahead of them as well. Newbrook on treble 6, hanging on for the lead. The back marker will hopefully move to the outside and get out of the way here. He does. As Pete Marshall at the inside, can he take the lead? He certainly can. Pete Marshall into the lead then. Sam Neville has got through in the second. Newbrook a bit hesitant there. Pete Marshall throws it into the turn. Sam Neville in second place. Newbrook's twitching about there, seems to be having some handling issues. He's down to third. Was he unnerved by having to lap that slower rider? Sam Neville now the next to attack for the lead. Here he comes up on the outside of Pete Marshall. They're almost side by side around the turn. Sam Neville going for the lead. Pete Marshall trying his hardest to hang on. This is going to be close. Photo finish across the line. I don't know who got that. A photo finish between Pete Marshall and Sam Neville. That's the closest finish we've had so far today. I could hardly keep up with that race at times. Brilliant from the rookie category. The Inters and the Pros still to come in this second round of heats here at Amman Valley, but that's the closest finish certainly that we have had so far today. Pete Marshall thinks he's won it, but we'll confirm that in just a moment when we get the official results through. And yes, Pete Marshall the winner by 1/100th of a second. My goodness. Sam Neville second, Tim Newbrook in third, then Norton, Chris Cooper, Kane Dalton, Jack Pitt, Robert Ungar and Ben Eddings did get going after his problems at the start to finish in 9th place. Brilliant entertainment there, to say the least, from the rookie category. Next we move back to the adult intermediates. Simon Parkin, the championship leader, struggled first time out, so we'll see how he gets on here. Wins first time out for 147 Gareth Williamson, and for Danny Lonsdale on the 226 as the championship pace setters struggled. We also saw Steve Wilkinson disqualified after taking a victory for jumping the start in the first heat. This could be an interesting one then. Up to the start line they come. Number 99 there, Stephen Campbell. 474 is Jack Noble. Didn't see much of him in his first ride. So out there the 76, that's Brad Hardman in this, the intermediate category. 2 heats for them, and then it's back to the big guns, the pros. 147 Gareth Williamson's out in this one, he could be the favourites. The lineup then sees Jack Noble, Steve Wilkinson and Richard Gardner on the front row, then Brad Hardman, Stephen Campbell and James O'Hara on row 2. Gareth Williamson, Jay Matthews and Lee Sadler on row 3. I reckon Williamson and Wilkinson are going to be the 2 to watch again here. Maybe Steve Wilkinson will make use of his front row start. He'll be being careful at the start this time though, having got a roller, as they say, in the first race. 66 there, that's James O'Hara. Gareth Williamson's got to do it the hard way this time if he wants a double, coming from the back of the grid. Almost all into line now. 48 of Jay Matthews, second in the points on 28 after 2 rounds. It's the 3rd round for the Inters today. Away they go. Good start by Wilkinson, good start as well by Richard Gardner. They'll lead the way into the first turn. Gareth Williamson's already come through on the inside, up into 3rd place. That was a great start. He's up to 2nd now off the turn. 66 in 4th is James O'Hara. But out in front it is Steve Wilkinson on the 128. He's got it right this time from the front of the lineup. Campbell gets sent wide there on number 99. Wilkinson who leads from Williamson. 3rd place number 66 of O'Hara. Jay Matthews fired up there on the 48, coming through from the back. Looks like he's up into 4th position already. He wants to have a go at the championship lead held by Simon Parkin, who's out in the next race. But it's Steve Wilkinson who sets the pace, chased by 147 Gareth Williamson. O'Hara 3rd ahead of Matthews. They come off the turn, Matthews running wide, then it's a solid scrub for 5th. Campbell under fire from Noble. Campbell and Noble, both names of land speed record holders many years ago. The inside, Stephen Campbell ahead of Jack Noble. Not exactly Bluebird against Thrust 2, but still famous names in the world of speed. 28 of Wilkinson being reeled in by the 147 bike of Gareth Williamson now. And Steve Wilkinson get it right this time. Took the win first time out on the track, but was unfortunately disqualified for jumping the start. It's good controlling the pace here, but Williamson right with him now. He's having a look on the inside, a little bit of a slip there as they came around the turn. Is Steve Wilkinson going to hang on? Down the straight they come. Wilkinson pulls away at it. This is good stuff once again. The racing getting better as the day goes on. Williamson trying one last step, and he's trying to go to the outside here. Wilkinson's wise to him. He moves across, and it's going to be Steve Wilkinson, number 1282, who takes it. Gareth Williamson in second. No, I don't think Steve Wilkinson's going to have that win taken off him. Rest of the pack over the line. Looks as though Jay Matthews may have got through for third place ahead of 66 of O'Hara. Confirm the results, of course, in a moment. Steve Wilkinson, no problem at all there. He gets the win this time, and will get to keep it. Gareth Williamson tried his hardest in the closing stage. That was good defensive riding by Steve Wilkinson in the closing stages of that one. Good smooth riding, taking the win by 0.4 of a second over Gareth Williamson. Jay Matthews did indeed get ahead of James O'Hara for third. Campbell defeating Noble for 5th position, then Richard Gardner 7th, Lee Sadler 8th, and Brad Hardman the 9th and final finisher. Other heats for the Inters coming up then. Names to watch in this one include Dan Ridge, Conrad Little's out in this one, Gareth Howes, Chris Jenner, and plenty more. Already starting to make their way into line then. 137 there, that's Tom Moore on the green machine. Green, of course, the colour of Kawasaki. That's Stephen Gernhill, Max Inman, Tom Moore and Conrad Little on the front row of the grid. The second row, Jamie Robertson, Ian Cherry, Trevor Heath and George Sturgis. Simon Park in the championship leader on the back row along with Terry Highwell, Danny Lonsdale and Chris Jenner. Danny Lonsdale, a winner first time out. Go for his double here. Classic bike of number 134, Chris Jenner there. 919 Trevor Heath. There did used to be a National League Speedway rider of the same name. Don't know if it's the same person. Simon Parkin struggled a bit in the wet in his first ride. Needs a decent result here. Start to settle into line then. Just waiting for the last couple of riders to line up. There's 112 Lee Sadler. Also competing in the Thunder Bikes today. We're almost ready then for heat number 4 for the Inters. Conrad Little could be with a chance here, going from the outside of the front row. Off they go. One bike hasn't got away on the inside there. Didn't quite see who it was. But we are underway, and it is Conrad Little who has gone to the front on number 69, chased by George Sturgis. We've got a couple of bikes haven't got away. Max Inman, and we have a faller, 216 Terry Highwell, has come off at the start. Looks like both riders are okay. Leading the way, it is Conrad Little ahead of George Sturgis. Danny Lonsdale in third place in 226, so a little bit of a contretemps off the line there by the look of things. Max Inman was the man who didn't get going on number 14. I think Terry Highwell collected him. Wasn't room for him to get through. Here comes Danny Lonsdale up the inside, trying to take second place away. He does so. Also charging through his parking. He got delayed in that start line melee as well. He's up into 4th place, I think, now. Charge their way around the half mile here at Amman Valley. There's Parkin side by side with the number 61 there. 61 I think is a borrowed machine because we don't have a 61 on the rider list for the Inter category. Line then 134 of Chris Jenner. Two riders racing on borrowed machines after possibly problems caused by the wet conditions, of course. 3-4 Chris Jenner moving up there. He's in 6th position at the moment, but Simon Parkin again a little off the pace today. Still setting the pace out in front is Conrad Little on number 69. He's 4th in the championship, was on the podium at the Adrian Flux Arena, Kings Lynn, in the opening round of the season. He's clear of George Sturgis, who's 5th in the points at the moment. Looking into this Welsh weekend, Chris Jenner with another obstacle cleared there on the 134. Cafe Racer type machine that he's on. It's going to be a win for the 69 of Conrad Little. Danny Lonsdale comes over in second, and George Sturgis down to third. The rest of the results to be confirmed then. Conrad Little, the winner on the 69, celebrates with a wheelie. Certainly pleased with that one. First win of the day for Conrad Little on the 69. Last couple of bikes make the finish. I think Max Inman was one of them after his troubles at the start. Confirm who's made it home in that one. Conrad Little, the winner, ahead of Danny Lonsdale by 2.6 seconds. George Sturgis third, ahead of Simon Park in the championship leader. Chris Jenner ahead of Jamie Robertson in sixth position. And the rest of them did all make it home. Terry Pywell and Max Inman were able to rejoin after those issues at the start. Now it's back with the pro category for their second rounds of the day. Wins first time out for Michael Dijkstra in Heat 1, Toby Hales in Heat 2. Pro wins so far for the championship leader, Gerard Bailo, the Spaniard, all the way from Barcelona. He's almost become the world centre for motorcycling over the last few years. Number 11, Gary Birtwistle could start as a favourite here as well on the front of the grid with Bailo. Full lineup, we'll see Birtwistle and Bailo on the front of the grid. Second row, Leah Toklev on the 37, Ferran Sastre on 215, 33 Sean Kelly, 41 Angus Goff, and number 19 Jordan Miller round out the grid. Jordan Miller, a heroic ride in his first race to hang on in front of Bailo and Toby Hales before they eventually monstered their way past him out of a titanic battle for the lead. 7 riders then for our third pro race of the day. I'm looking forward to this one. Will it be a first win for Gerard Bailo? Gary Birtwistle will be his main rival here, I would think. Friends begin to rise and off they go. Down to the first turn. Decent start by Ferran Sastre from the second row there, trying to get around the outside, but it is Gary Birtwistle who has got the early lead. Bailo through past Sastre into second after a slightly slow start, but it's Gary Birtwistle who has got the lead, all in black on the number 11. Two Spaniards in second and third. Jordan Miller's come through into fourth on the number 19 machine. Down the straight they come then. Gary Birtwistle ahead of Gerard Bailo. Ferran Sastre trying to help his fellow countrymen in second and third places. They're trying to move up to challenge Birtwistle for the lead. Ferran Sastre going through there into second. Now I thought the Spaniards were helping each other. They're certainly not. They are racing each other for the places here, and now Jordan Miller's closing up as well on the 19. Bailo back to the inside as they come off the turn. Is he going to take that second place back again? He certainly is. And Sastre will try to fight back. There's good racing between the two Spaniards. All the time they're falling behind. Gary Birtwistle, number 11, out in front. Birtwistle in third in the points going into this round. He won the first round as Ferran Sastre nearly hits the back of Gerard Bailo there. That could have been nasty, although he was going to go piling into the tyres there. Ferran Sastre, second in the points ahead of Birtwistle. Jordan Miller charging on in that fourth place. Going towards the end of this one now, Heat 3 for the pros. And Gary Birtwistle is surely going to take the win. Hanging on in front there ahead of Gerard Bailo. Trying to close in the closing stage of this one. It's getting pretty bumpy out there now, especially on the inside, exiting the turns. Bailo trying his hardest to close up in the mud on the inside there. Here comes Gerard Bailo. Can he get alongside Gary Birtwistle? This is going to be close. Once again from the pro category, I don't think he's going to do it. Gary Birtwistle hangs on to it ahead of Bailo and Sastre. Jordan Miller in fourth place. More frantic action from the pro category. This is jolly good stuff here at Amman Valley today. Gary Birtwistle takes the win. Thoroughly enjoyable racing there. Gerard Bailo too busy fighting his fellow Spaniard there for second place to move up to challenge in that one. Birtwistle the winner by 0.36 of a second ahead of Bailo. Then Sastre, despite a near disaster at 1 point third, ahead of Jordan Miller, Angus Goff, Leah Toklev and Sean Kelly rounding out the 7 finishers. The other half of the pro entry coming out next, and surely starting as favourite for that one will be Toby Hales on the number 1. 36 of Joe Banks is out in this one. bike problems in the mini bikes earlier on. Also out there is Frank Serra, who will uphold honour for Spain. Competed in the first round at Kings Lynn and finished 4th overall. That occasion with Bert Whistle, Baylo and Sastre at Kings Lynn, the top 3. Second round it was Baylo from Sastre and Johnny Lewis, the American, finished 3rd. And round 3 it was Baylo ahead of Richard Mason, Ferran Sastre. Serra, Mir and Hurst, the front row for this one. Rob Mir and Sam Hurst, both ex-Speedway riders. Joe Banks and Neil McQueen on the second row. Toby Hales, Michael Dijkstra and Sky Adams on the third row for Heat 4 for the pros. Toby Hales probably starting as the narrow favourites here. He's not had a podium yet this year though, Toby Hales. He's been 4th twice. Big problems at Kings Lynn and finished well down the order, only scoring 4 championship points. And he'll take his second win of the day here though in heat number 4 for the pro category. Let's find out. They're away, trying to push his way through on the inside. Is Toby Hales is going to be close into the first turn. It's Rob Mir who's got the early lead on the number 500, the Meerkat as he's known. Rode for the Lakeside Hammers among other clubs in his Speedway days. He's got the early advantage. Chasing hard in second place is Sam Hurst, the ex-Newport Wasps rider. Through on the inside comes Frank Serra now, and here comes Toby Hales up into 3rd place on the inside. Down the straight they come, side by side. Further back, Michael Dijkstra coming through in 58, looking for his second win of the day. Excellent stuff so far. Here comes Frank Serra up the inside. Is he going to take the lead as they go down the straight there? Yes he is. Here comes Toby Hales going through the middle on the turn, but Dijkstra's there on the inside. Dijkstra goes second. Michael Dijkstra is riding superbly today, the Dutchman. Can he move up the points chart? He's only got 20 points, he's 7th in the classification in the Pro Series this year. So it's Frank Serra for Spain, Michael Dijkstra for Holland. Hales is now 3rd. Rob Mir has gone from 1st to 4th. Under fire as well now as the 3 leaders duke it out. Serra under fire from Dijkstra. Has a look up the inside coming off the turn. He won't get through there, or will he? Serra on the inside. Here comes Dijkstra. He's going to go through. That's a great move by Michael Dijkstra. Hales trying to follow him on the green number 1. Not quite. Serra is still there. Down the straight they go. This is magnificent racing. Dijkstra around the outside. He's got the lead of this thing now ahead of Serra, but Hales is going to try and got the inside. He's trying to got the inside of both of them as they come off the turn. Toby Hales fighting as hard as he can on the number 1, showing why he is a former champion. He's up to 2nd now. Down to 3rd goes Frank Serra. Dijkstra back into the lead. Hales going to try the inside line again. Dijkstra makes a mistake. Hales goes through. Slightest of mistakes there for Michael Dijkstra, and he's dropped away. Toby Hales wins it on the last bend. That was brilliant riding from Toby Hales, Michael Dijkstra, and from Frank Serra. Racing just getting better as the conditions get drier here at Amman Valley. Toby Hales, number 1, a brilliant race victory. Well done indeed to him. Quite superb stuff from the champion. Very pleased with that one indeed. Win going to Toby Hales by 0.8 of a second over Frank Serra. Michael Dijkstra in 3rd. Rob Mir, the early leader, down to 4th. Then Joe Banks 5th. Neil McQueen in 6th, Sky Adams in 7th, and we lost Sam Hurst with a lap to go. Superb racing from the pro category once again. That concludes the second round of heats then here at Amman Valley on this Saturday afternoon. There's the reason Michael Dijkstra slowed up in the closing stages there, a puncture in the rear tyre. We go on to round number 3, starting once again with the mini mods, Joe Banks and Jeremy Skip off the front of the grid. Second row, Freddie Trott Senior, Sean Kelly, Frank Casoli and Dimitri Costa. Then Jez Scott, Chris Bailey and Kaylee Hankins off row number 3. The sun now out here in the Amman Valley in South Wales, here at round 3 of the 2019 Indian Motorcycles DTRA UK Flat Track Nationals. Round number 4, who will be the winners? Then we'll find out our first class winner after this race. They are underway with heats number 3. Joe Banks makes the start into the first turn. Trying to go around the outside is Dimitri Costa on the number 67 machine. Down the back straight they go. It looks like it's Jeremy Skip, number 64 in 3rd. Banks takes the lead. Down the back straight, Freddie Trott is in there as well. It's Costa still with the lead. Sorry, Banks under fire for 2nd place. from Freddie Trott on the 53. A winner earlier on, as was Banks, but he broke down in heat number 2. He's down to third now. Trott up to second. Now trying to catch Dimitri Costa on the 67. He led the points coming into this round. If he finishes in the top 3 here, he will still be leading the points. The points today awarded on the aggregate of the heats, because there will be no final tell due to the earlier delays because of rain. Costa leads it then from Freddie Trott in second, closing the gap. Banks is in third place. Looks like it's still Skip in fourth. 67 and 53 together. Here comes the 53 of Freddie Trott Senior. Seen Freddie Junior win the opening round at King's Lynn. Freddie Senior wants a win today as well. He's having a go on the inside. He goes through, going into the back straight ahead of Dimitri Costa. He might well move to concentrate on his vintage efforts now, as was slip there for the leader. Just about holds it together. Costa wasn't able to take advantage, as he had to avoid him there, take avoiding action around the outside. That could have been nasty. And this is allowing Joe Banks to close back up as well. Costa goes to the inside, down the straights. Just about holding it together there. Freddie Trott in front on the 53. Costa on the 67 in second place. Banks closing up as well. It's between these 3 for the class victory today. I think Freddie Trott Senior has just about done enough, or has he? Here comes Costa up on the outside. This is going to be close. Dimitri Costa to the inside. Who's going to get that aggregate victory? We will see after the conclusion of this race. Costa trying, goes to the inside down the straight. Freddie Trott holds him off. Joe Banks just watching on from third place. He knows he won't win today after retiring from the second heat. I don't think Costa's going to do it. Freddie Trott tucks down low and he snatches the win. Just hanging on there ahead of Dimitri Costa. Banks third, Skip fourth, and the rest of them come through. Looks like Kaylee Hankins was in fifth place, with an absorbing close race for the lead there. Freddie Trott hanging on to take the win. That was a very entertaining race indeed. Heat number 3 for the mini mods. Freddie Trott Senior confirmed as your race winner, chased home by Dimitri Costa. He's certainly pleased that one. Trott the winner by just 0.1 of a second over Dimitri Costa. Joe Banks third ahead of Jeremy Skip, then Kaylee Hankins, Chris Bailey, and in 7th place. Well, there's the point standings. Freddie Trott Senior takes the win on the day ahead of Dimitri Costa, and that means that Costa stays at the top of the championship ahead of Trott and Frank Casoli in third place, who are finished at the back there in 7th place. So Dimitri Costa keeps his championship lead. Next up we move on to the final for the Thunderbikes, the final race of the day I should say. James O'Hara and Chris Jenner on the front row of the grid. Second row is Kane Dalton, Jeremy de Combar and Barry Stevenson. Third row, Lee Sadler, Michael Dijkstra and Dan Ridge. The final race of the day for the Thunderbikes split into 2. This is half of the entry, with no finals being run today. So 6 races in total for the Thunderbikes. No Michael Dijkstra out there for this one by the look of things. We are underway. Great start by Dan Ridge as expected, down the outside of everybody and blast into the lead on the first turn. So it's Dan Ridge with the lead then. He's looking for a hat-trick in this one. Heats 2 and 4 earlier on. Racing in second is Chris Jenner on the 134. He won heat 3. Clear of their opposition here already. In third place is the number 66 machine. It's James O'Hara in this Thunderbikes heat number 5. James O'Hara running well. Dan Ridge, if he wins this, will seal the win on the day in the Thunderbikes. Could move into the points lead as a result, with John Bell having struggled a bit today with bike issues. Right there, the 4th place man, that's Jeremy de Combar, the Frenchman. Chris Jenner chasing hard, covered in mud from earlier on. But everybody is here today, even the non-riding persons present today. Everyone's going to go home with a coating of mud today from South Wales. They've got to do it all again tomorrow, of course. Let's hope for more clement weather. Chris Jenner chasing hard. I don't think he's going to catch Dan Ridge here, though. The 28 well out in front. He is heading for Thunderbikes victory today here in the Amman Valley. Aim for a double tomorrow. Jenner in second place. He might get classified second overall here if it stays like this. We've got another heat to run, of course, for the other half of the entry. 28 continues to set the pace. Almost afford to take it easy here. He doesn't want to lapse in concentration. Otherwise he might slide off. Danridge then heading for a hat-trick and the overall victory in the Thunderbirds. Round the turn he comes. He's well clear of Chris Jenner in second place. Danridge comes across the line to win the Thunderbike category with a hat-trick. That'll be a maximum 45 points, and he'll get the 20 points in the final classification towards the championship, depending on how things go for the other half of the entry. The likes of John Bell, Tom Clemens and Chris Hatton. It's as though Dan could take the championship lead here today. Congratulations to Danridge. Another round to come tomorrow, of course, so the championship could change again. Another heat to go yet to decide the rest of the Thunderbike placings. Danridge the winner by 2.2 seconds ahead of Jenner, then O'Hara, Decomba, Sadler and Barry Stevenson completing the 6 finishers in our Thunderbike heat at number 5. Next on the bill here today is Thunderbike heat number 6. Lineup including John Bell, Tom Clemens and Chris Hatton, all championship place setters. Gary Inman is in there as well. Waiting for the riders to move forward onto the grid then. High winds here in the Amman Valley helping to dry the racing surface out slightly. 21 of Nick Linnell moves onto the grid. Gary Inman on the Rotax engine machine there, number 13. The Sideburn machines, it says on the tank. 18, John Bell, a bit of a torrid day for him, retired from his second heat. He won't figure too high up in the final classification. He's on the front row here, John Bell, along with Gareth Howes and Chris Hatton. Jonas Hendricks and Nick Linnell on the second row. Tom Clemens and Guto Llewellyn on row number 3. Guto successful in the vintage category to date. Away we go then with heat number 6. Guto Llewellyn looks like he's a non-starter to heat number 6. Away goes Chris Hatton, he's got away well. So has John Bell, a better start from him this time. Third is the number 42, that is Tom Clemens. He could keep up his challenge for the championship lead if he can win here. 170 of Chris Hatton, who's got the lead, looking for win number 2 today. He won heat 1. Up on the outside is Bell, side by side with the 42 of Tom Clemens. These three have pulled away from the rest of the field in this final race of the day for the Thunderbikes. 170 of Chris Hatton has got the lead over the bumps there. On the outside of the turn there, it's getting very rutted. 42 and the 18 nearly lost it there to allow Chris Hatton to get clear on number 170. Clemens now up in the second place. John Bell is in third. Sun comes out again here. Bell's dropping back slightly on the number 18. Don't tell me he's in trouble again. Could be about to lose his championship lead in the Thunderbike category. Over the bumps again goes Tom Clemens, number 42. Well behind Chris Hatton, who's going to take the win in this one. He could take second in the Thunderbike classification with a win here, I think. We know Danridge has won it with a hat-trick. John Bell in third place on the number 18. Clear of their opposition here. Won't see many points for Guto Llewellyn here. He was a non-starter in this heat number 6, his third race of the day. Bell continues on. It's not been a happy day for him. Chris Hatton continues to dominate, the man in the black and white. So second place for Tom Clemens. He might be classified in the top 3 here, we'll wait and see. Chris Hatton is heading for second overall in the category today. He'll get the 16 points for second. Results on the aggregate of the heats. Second is going to go to Tom Clemens in this heat. There's the checkered flag. Hatton wins it from Clemens, Bell third. The rest of them come home. We'll confirm the classification very shortly. Danridge, we know, has won overall and should take the lead of the championship heading into tomorrow. Chris Hatton confirmed as your winner of heat number 6 for the Sportax Thunderbike Championship. May will have a new points leader in Danridge. Chris Hatton wins heat 6, just over a second ahead of Tom Clemens, with John Bell third. Gareth Howes in fourth ahead of Gary Inman, then Nick Linnell and Jonas Hendricks rounding out the 7 finishers. Danridge taking the overall victory ahead of Chris Hatton and Chris Jenner. That does put Danridge the top of the Thunderbikes Championship heading into tomorrow's next round. John Bell and Tom Clemens second and third. Next up on track here today, it's back to mini bikes. The Mini Stock Championship next up. Archie May on a hat-trick heading into this one, looking for his first round win of the year. He missed the first round, so I don't think he'll take the championship lead. Max Hunt may well hold on to that, having won 2 rounds this year. Archie May yet to win a round. Onto the grid for Heat 3 then, it's Ross Jackson, Ruth Mooney and Giovanni Belliosi on the front row. Second row, Wag Scott, Archie May and Sam Neville. Gary Wigston, Kaylee Hankins, Jez Scott and Jonas Hendricks on the third row. Wait to see if we do see Jonas Hendricks here, because he was out in the previous race. It's a quick fire programme to get all the races in here today. Wag Scott, is she pushing her bike off the grid or just relining up? Just lining up in the correct place there. Thought she had a problem for a second. So we know that Danridge has taken the lead of the Thunderbike Championship, at least until tomorrow. Could all change again. There's Sam Neville, he could be in with a chance here on the 105, but can anyone stop Archie May? We do see Jonas Hendricks out there, he's joined us on the 777. So this is heat number 3 for the mini bikes stock category then. Revs beginning to rise. Waiting for that green light. And off they go. A lot of lift there for somebody. That's, I think it was Kaylee Hankins on the 68, but down to the first turn. Archie May's already coming through, and he's taken the lead already on the run into the first turn. Look at the lead he's got already, Archie May here on the number 9. No stopping him today. Second place is that's Ross Jackson on the 130. Winner in the vintage class today, but Kaylee Hankins comes through. And well, we're going to see some real jockeying for position now for second place. Gary Wigston now comes through into second. It's like a NASCAR race there here in the midfield. There's the 26 of Wigston, the 68 of Hankins now at the inside. Tucked down low on the bars, she goes into second place. Archie May's leaving them all behind here. Wag Scott in fourth place on the 197. Now coming through on the outside, that's Jez Scott, the Scott family fighting it out. Wag ahead at the moment. Side they make as they all go down the far straight there. Sam Neville tucked in behind this group of 5. Kaylee Hankins holding second at the moment. She could yet be classified second overall. Only appeared once in this category at Peterborough. Scored 11 points. But Archie May is certainly heading for 20. He's going to score a hat-trick if he stays out in front here. The battle over second. Hankins ahead of Wigston at the moment, then the Scots, and then Sam Neville. Neville on the back wheel of Jez Scott there, trying to get room on the outside. Jez will know he's there and give him racing room. Here comes Sam Neville again around the outside. He's going to take the place away. Moves up into 5th. Next target is Wag Scott on the 197. Down the straight they go. Archie May is away and got in front. He's heading for 20 points. Won't quite get in the championship lead though. Max Hunt, who's absent this weekend, will still be out in front. Archie will certainly close the gap. Sam Neville running well here ahead of Jez Scott now. They're still side by side though. Scott up the inside onto the turn. 2 ladies ahead. Wag Scott and Kaylee Hankins. Kaylee going very well indeed there in second place. Gary Wigston in there between the 2 of them in third. Wag in 4th place. Going towards the closing stages now. It's going to be a win for Archie May on the number 9. Very pleased Kaylee Hankins comes over in second, and side by side for third there. Did Wag Scott manage to snatch third from Gary Wigston over the line? We'll wait to confirm that's a photo finish for third place. The rest of them come home. Well, Archie May got the start absolutely right. Perfect victory, a perfect day for Archie May. 3 wins out of 3. He's hardly been headed all day long. try and make it a double in the youth senior category later on. Kaylee Hankins congratulates him. She got second place in that one, and a photo for third between Wag Scott and Gary Wigston on the Yamaha Rotax. Made the winner by 4.5 seconds over Hankins in the end, and Gary Wigston got third place ahead of Wag Scott on the line. Sam Neville taking 5th position. Archie May tops the standings, doesn't win in the championship lead, but he tops the standings ahead of Kaylee Hankins, Gary Wigston, Wag Scott, Sam Neville, Jez Scott rounding out the top 6, then Beliosi, Hendricks and Jackson. Next up we go to the youth classes. Juniors up first. And well, some would suggest this is likely to be a benefit for Wyatt Hopkins, but you never know. Paper, you suspect he was going to dominate this one once again. We'll wait and see. Maddie Banks and Paddy Moore on the front row of the grid. And then we've got Toby Johnson, Marty Skip and Oscar Osborne-Wilkes on the second row. Alfie Croft, Wyatt Hopkins and Jaden Lewis will start from row 3 of this youth junior final. The final heat anyway. It's effectively the final, the last race. Wyatt Hopkins, whatever happens, will keep his championship lead today, unless he meets with a major disaster and Oscar Osborne-Wilkes, his nearest pursuer, wins this. They've been first and second in every round so far. Bit of a problem here getting going for the 65. That's Oscar Osborne-Wilkes. Just about managing to keep his engine running there. A couple of last minute checks taking place. Can anyone stop Wyatt Hopkins on the number 100? He goes from row 3, away they go, and he streaks his way straight through the middle of the pack there, Wyatt Hopkins. He's going to take the lead into the first turn, is he? No. It's the 65 of Oscar Osborne-Wilkes who has got the lead, but now Hopkins around the outside on the first turn, and away he goes into the lead. Just took his time a little bit there on the first turn. Oscar in second place as they head round third is Paddy Moore in the 145, so following the form guide here early on in this junior final here at Amman Valley. Paddy Moore up the outside trying to take second place away, side by side down the straights. It looks like it is going to be once again a race for second place. Wyatt Hopkins' unbeaten run this year is going to continue. 6 riders have done every round this year. Hopkins, Osborne-Wilkes, Paddy Moore, Alfie Croft, Maddie Banks and Marty Skip. Toby Johnson has missed 1 round. This is Peterborough. Jaden Lewis has done 3. The field we've seen this year: Beau and Poppy Vernon, Ruby Hunt and Harry Banks. Another bit of Banks clan, so not out this weekend. Paddy Moore leading the chase here of the dominant Wyatt Hopkins, already lapping young Jaden Lewis there. Always a trier is little Jaden. See him up towards the front in a few years to come, I'm sure. Paddy Moore leading the chase past the 79, that's Marty Skip. See Jeremy Skip out in the senior classes today as well. Wyatt Hopkins continues to dominate this youth junior class. I don't think he's been beaten at all this season. Superb pace being shown here. We'll see him in the senior classes in a few years as well. Talented young motorcyclist. Looking for another victory here at Amman Valley. Try and make it 5 out of 5 for the season tomorrow. He's going to make it 4 out of 4 here today. Get the 20 points, extend his championship lead. To lap the 151, I think that is. 1-6-1 even of Toby Johnson as he crosses the line. Toby Johnson lapped by Wyatt Hopkins. He takes another dominant victory here at Amman Valley. Way ahead of everybody else once again. Paddy Moore taking second, Oscar Osborne-Wilkes third. We'll confirm that result in just a moment. Is anybody else on the same lap? Possibly Alfie Croft there in 4th place. Wyatt Hopkins takes another win. 4 out of 4 for the number 100 for the season. a hat-trick here today in the Amman Valley. He'll aim for another hat-trick of heat wins tomorrow. Should hopefully get some finals with slightly better weather promised tomorrow as well. Hopkins the winner by exactly 3 seconds over Paddy Moore at the end, so it wasn't as dominant as earlier on. Osborne Wilkes third ahead of Alfie Croft, who just beat Maddie Banks to the line. A better showing from her as well. Toby Johnson, Marcy Skip and Jaden Lewis all lapped. Wyatt Hopkins wins the day and keeps his championship lead. Moore classified second overall. Then Osborne, Wilkes, Croft, Banks, Johnson, Skip and Lewis completing the 8 scorers. Youth Intermediates class up next then, and potentially another hat-trick coming up here. Ted Wilkinson, 2 wins out of 2 so far on the number 128 machine. See if he can complete a clean sweep here. Senna Ace Summers, number 31, first up onto track, followed by Erin Dyer on the 73. So the grid lines up as follows then: Wilbur Skip, Luke Elliott, Charlie Kelly and Erin Dyer on the front row. Senna Ace Summers alone on row 2. Lizzie Banks and Ted Wilkinson take row 3. Ted Wilkinson starting from the back. Who will his main challengers be here? Luke Elliott's probably in with a chance. Makes his way forward. His somewhat vintage machine. Senna Ace Summers has gone well, so has Charlie Kelly today. Ted Wilkinson will keep his championship lead. Hopes begin to rise and away they go. Decent start by Charlie Kelly from the front of the lineup. He takes the lead already. Coming through though into second place is Wilkinson. It is Charlie Kelly with the early lead on the number 46. That of course the number that all motorcycle racers want, thanks to Valentino Rossi. Here comes Ted Wilkinson up on the outside. He's going to go for the outside as they come around to complete the first, well, I was going to say lap and a half, but it really is the first lap, and he's taken the lead coming off the turn there, very low on the saddle, just like the senior racers ahead of Charlie Kelly. Confusing to know which part of the race we're on in terms of laps to go because of the start and finish lines being in different places. Ted Wilkinson isn't bothered about that. He's away and gone in front once again ahead of Charlie Kelly. They're already well clear of their opposition here. This third round of heats for the youth intermediate category. Luke Elliott is next in the order. The all-black machine, but already a long way behind the top 2 there. Senna Ace Summers, in fact he's in third place, Elliott fourth. Then we've got Erin Dyer running slightly quicker than earlier on. Good style from her as well, down behind the bubble as road racers say there. First 2 already well ahead of everybody else. Charlie Kelly trying to give chase, so Ted Wilkinson will keep the lead in the championship. This will be his third win for this year. He was beaten by Tom Hunt in the opening round of the year at King's Lynn. Charlie Kelly did finish ahead of Ted in second place. Dan Mason was third. Ted Wilkinson only able to manage 4th. 5 of these riders have done every round this year, the 5 we've mentioned. Banks has done 2. Senna Ace Summers, his first appearance of the season, but a very good one it is as well. Erin Dyer closing meanwhile on Luke Elliott, that's for 4th position. Charlie Kelly continues to chase our race leader. I don't think he's going to catch Ted Wilkinson here. It's going to be win number 3 of the season for Ted, win number 3 of the day as well. Battle is joined for 4th place, Luke Elliott being reeled in by Erin Dyer. They're not far behind Senna Ace Summers either. On the outside, they're almost side by side there. Erin chasing hard. She get round the outside there of Luke Elliott. She's going to make a move here as they come off the turn. Luke doesn't give her much room, and meanwhile Ted Wilkinson comes through to lap them. Erin Dyer slows up as a result of that. He wasn't left any room at all there on the outside. So Ted Wilkinson heads for victory. Second will be Charlie Kelly. There's the checkered flag. Wilkinson wins it. Second goes to Kelly. Everybody else a long way behind. I think in fact Senna Ace Summers the only other rider on the same lap. Ted Wilkinson then a hat-trick today, a hat-trick of wins for the season. He is confirmed as today's overall winner, of course, with Charlie Kelly in second. Wilkinson won by 6 seconds there Charlie Kelly second, some 21 seconds ahead of Senna Ace Summers, then Luke Elliott and Erin Dyer, Wilbur Skip and Lizzie Banks completing the 7 finishers. Our youth into final. Ted Wilkinson, the day's overall winner, the maximum 45 points, and that means he keeps the championship lead. Charlie Kelly in second, and Luke Elliott in 4th place stays 3rd in the title race. On to the youth seniors. Next up then, we could have a hat-trick in this one as well. Jack Bell going for 3 out of 3. Fergus Bluff and Archie May, his main challengers, along with Luke Gardner. Completing the field, we have Leon Collier, his first appearance of the season. The other 4 here today have done all 4 rounds so far. Jack Bell and Luke Gardner off the front of the grid. Leon Collier on the second row, Archie May and Fergus Bluff on row 3. Well, Jack Bell, so the speedway rider, goes from the front. Is Leon Collier signalling a problem there? Yes, he is, the number 91. Very smartly turned out Honda, sponsored by Halso Fuels. Not sure what his problem is there, tries to get the machine going. Almost ready then for our youth seniors. Heat number 3, they're away. Decent starts by Luke Gardner there from the outside the front row. Can he get ahead of Jack Bell? They're side by side on the run to the first turn, but Bell goes ahead on the inside. Here comes Fergus Bluff on the 118. He'll go up into 2nd place off the turn. Gardner is in 3rd place as they head down the straights. Better start from Luke Gardner here. Archie May in 4th place. Collier is at the back. Here comes May on the inside. We've already seen his dominant form in the mini bike category. He's going to be able to slug it out there for 2nd, but he's doing the slugging in the midfield here, chasing Luke Gardner. So he's not at the pace of a slug. He's a very quick young motorcyclist. Here's Archie May, having to give best to Jack Bell in the youth seniors today. Fergus Bluff in a safe 2nd now, getting clear of Luke Gardner. Main battle is for 3rd. Jack Bell continuing to lead the way. Leon Collier at the back, like he was having a problem with his machine at the start of the race. In the clear at the front is Jack Bell. 4 wins out of 4 for him for the season. He'll keep his very clear championship lead. At least 20 points up on the rest of the field if it stays like this, with Luke Gardner, his nearest challenger, down in 3rd place. Archie May in 4th. Fergus Bluff setting the status quo slightly. This will be his best ever finish if it stays like this, in 2nd overall for the day. One podium before at Greenfield. Archie May still there in 4th. He's dropped back from Luke Gardner slightly now. Fergus Bluff almost on his own in 2nd. Not going to catch the number 93 of Jack Bell though, as fighting back here. Archie May reeling in Luke Gardner again. He goes up the inside on the turn. He's going through into 3rd place, is he? Gardner fights back on the outside. This is close for 3rd place. Who's got the straight line speed? Looks like Bell is going to pull ahead. May's going to pull ahead, sorry. Yes, he's done it. Into 3rd place. Jack Bell still your leader. May drifts wide. Gardner straight back up the inside. And is he going to keep 3rd on the run to the line? Yes, he is. Great battle for 3rd there, but out in front of it all, Jack Bell the winner ahead of Fergus Bluff. Gardner in 3rd. Fine battle there with Archie May, and Leon Collier will complete the finishers. Jack Bell takes another win then. He's unbeaten today. In fact, we've had hat-tricks in all 3 of our youth classes. That's 4 round wins out of 4 for young Jack Bell. Brilliant stuff there. Bell the winner by 1.6 seconds ahead of Fergus Bluff. Luke Gardner snatching 3rd from Archie May on the last bend, and Leon Collier completing the finishers in our youth senior final. Jack Bell, a perfect score, 45 points. He gets the 20 championship points for the 4th time out of 4 this season. Keeps his championship lead ahead of Fergus Bluff. Down to 5th in the championship, Luke Gardner and Archie May, 2nd and 3rd in the overall standings at the moment. 2 heats coming up next then for the Vintage Championship to round off their day. And to get rid of the 2 classes mixed together in these, the 2-stroke and 4-stroke categories. There's John Jacka, number 410. He's on a 4-stroke lining up. Race number 38 of the day then, Dimitri Costa and Sean Kelly on the front row of the grid. Got John Jacka and Ben Eddings on row 2, Carl Swatteridge on row 3. 5 bikes for this one then. Now I would say between the two front row men for this one, Costa and Kelly. Dimitri Costa leading the championship in the 4 strokes coming into this round. Sean Kelly leading the 2 strokes. So they're led off by the 2 championship leaders. Into that first turn they go. Dimitri Costa and Sean Kelly. But I think Costa's got a problem. Yes, he's slowing down. And the 4-stroke championship leader's out of it. Oh dear, Ben Eddings in trouble there as well. On the outside on the 404, he's been having problems all day, so Sean Kelly left on his own, and we're down to 3 bikes in this race. Disaster for Dimitri Costa, he's out of it. John Jacka therefore in 2nd place, it's Carl Swatteridge in 3rd. Now this could change things in terms of the 4-stroke championship depending on what happens in heat 6. In this one, Sean Kelly's out in front. If he takes the win here, then it will be 20 points for him and he'll keep the lead of the 2-stroke championship. Depending on what Ross Jackson does in his later race, but he's only appeared in 1 round this year, Ross Jackson. Sean Kelly is in his 3rd today, Ross Jackson his 2nd. 1 round previous to this at Kings Lynn. Battle for 2nd headed by John Jacka. He's quite a way down the 4-stroke standings, I think, and I'm just taking a look. This is actually his first appearance in the 4 strokes this season. We've got 2 bikes on the infield. Carl Swatteridge in 3rd place. He's only made 1 previous appearance. He was 2nd in the 4-stroke class at Kings Lynn behind Paul Harrison, who's not riding today. It's been a bit of a disjointed season for the vintage category so far this year. Well, Sean Kelly completely dominating this one on his 2-stroke Suzuki. He's going to win this one. Almost certainly win the 2-stroke category for today, because if he keeps going here it will be a hat-trick of wins in the class. Wait to see what happens with the 4 strokes in heat 6, because Guto Llewellyn could take the class in that one. He could score a hat-trick, but this man's going to score a hat-trick. Sean Kelly, the only man to race in 3 classes today. His vintage efforts certainly paying off on the Suzuki. He continues to set the pace. Attrition here, 5 started it, 2 didn't get past the first turn. Swatteridge in 2.57, still going further back. It's been a quiet day for him. He's going to take 3rd place. In fact, he slows up on the final turn as well. He might not make it home either. It's going on in this heat 5 for the vintage category. The flag is out. Sean Kelly has taken the win. He's probably wondering where everybody else has got to. John Jacka took 2nd on the 410. Kelly certainly pleased with that one on his Suzuki. Well, nobody else seemed to want to finish that race. We lost 2 bikes on the first turn, Dimitri Costa and the 404 of Ben Eddings. Carl Swatteridge did get his bike going again and does make it home over the line. Strange race that was. Sean Kelly won it by over 12 seconds from John Jacka. Carl Swatteridge a lap behind, and the other 2, Costa and Eddings, didn't complete a lap. 2 points for them in that heat number 5 for the vintage category. Sean Kelly secures the 2-stroke category victory for the day with a hat-trick of wins. That'll keep his championship lead in the 2 strokes. He was 3rd at Kings Lynn and 1 at Peterborough. Now it's on to heat 6 for the vintage category. 72 John Harrison. He's removed his big green waterproof suit now, and in his Triumph leathers there. He's on the front row along with the 39 of Rick Bearcroft and the 124 of Darren Legg. John Dyer, Mike Fisher and Paul Morell will start on the 2nd row. And on row 3, Guto Llewellyn, Jeremy Skip, Andy John and Ross Jackson. Now this race should decide the 4-stroke category. Guto Llewellyn has had a couple of race wins. John Harrison has had 1. Carl Swatteridge and John Jacka had a win each as well. They finished their heats in heat 5. Guto Llewellyn wins this. He'll take a hat-trick on the number 79 machine on the inside of row 3. Paul Morell into position. Always a trier is Paul. Finished a couple of laps down in one of his heats earlier on. Ross Jackson on that Yamaha is positioned nicely here from row 3. He could blast into the lead down the outside. Wait and see what's going to happen here. In heat 6 for the vintage bikes, the Triumph of number 39, ready to lead them away, Rick Bearcroft, along with 72. And one bike just receiving a bit of attention there. One non-starter, Paul Morell, very slow away as well. John Harrison gets away well, so does Mike Fisher. But into the lead does go Ross Jackson from the outside. I thought he might. There's a bit of bumping and boring there. The second place on the first turn, that's Guto Llewellyn round the outside into second place. Now, if he finishes as top 4-stroke in this one, he'll score a hat-trick in the category and win it. He's up to third behind Mike Fisher. It's 2 strokes all the way out in front. These Yamaha and the Bultaco of Jackson ahead of Fisher. Guto Llewellyn in third. Then we've got 101, that's John Dyer in 4th place. He's going well in the 4-stroke championship this season ahead of Jeremy Skip on the 64. Now with Dimitri Costa hitting problems, Guto Llewellyn has not ridden in the vintage category yet this season, so just looking at the 4-stroke points here, it could well, if Rick Bearcroft can win this, it could be him going to the top of the championship, or it could be John Harrison there on the 72 on the Triumph. Faced by John Dyer. There's John Harrison. We'll wait and see what happens here. Could be about to take the lead in the championship, but never mind that, because Guto Llewellyn is going for the overall lead here. He's around the outside of Mike Fisher on the Bultaco. He's going for Ross Jackson on the 140 on the 130 into the turn there, round the outside. Guto Llewellyn powers into the lead. He is flying here today in the vintage category, and now Jackson side by side with Fisher around the turn in the battle to be the leading 2-stroke. Great racing here in the vintage category in the final race of the day for them. 3 more races to come after this, 3 more rounds of races, rookies, inters and pros, as Fisher goes too wide coming off the turn there, and he's slowed up a little, and Jackson back into second overall. Guto Llewellyn with the lead, just too powerful for the 2 strokes. He's heading for the 4-stroke category win. It won't give him the championship lead. Wait and see who that is going to go to. Guto Llewellyn's only contested one. No, this is his first round, sorry, he's contested here today. Either John Harrison or Rick Bearcroft, I think, who goes into the lead of the championship. But Llewellyn takes the win in his final heat of the day. Jackson second, so he's the top 2-stroke ahead of Mike Fisher. He's been the nearly man today. The rest of them come home. John Dyer, I think, was next home on the 101. Guto Llewellyn, who takes the win. He's very pleased with that indeed on the number 79. 3 wins for him today in the 4-stroke category. He takes the 20 points. Wait and see if that's enough to give him the championship lead. Llewellyn the winner there by over 2 seconds ahead of Ross Jackson, who beat Mike Fisher home. John Harrison next ahead of John Dyer, then Rick Bearcroft, Jeremy Skip, Andy John, and finally Paul Morell. The overall winner today in terms of the 4-stroke category will be Guto Llewellyn, and it's Sean Kelly for the 2-stroke category. John Harrison it is, I can tell you, who takes the lead of the 4-stroke championship. Sean Kelly on top in the 2-stroke championship after the first day of this weekend here at Amman Valley. Well done to the vintage racers. It's on to the rookie class next up then. Rookies heading to the grid by the number 94 there. Big grid of bikes for their 2 heats here. We're seeing Sam Neville, Nicholas Prado and Pete Marshall on the front row of the grid. Second row, David Irons, Fabio Gomez and Chris Cooper. Completing the field, Wag Scott, Robert Ungard, Jack Pitts and Ben Eddings. Ben Eddings, the 404, been a troubled day for him at the back. No idea which way this one's going to go. We saw Pete Marshall win by 100th of a second earlier on. He's off from the front. Away they go. So the first turn, good start by Sam Neville, good start by Marshall. He'll go into the early lead here. Pete Marshall in the turquoise and black there in the lead ahead of Neville. Here comes Fabio Gomez, always a fast starter. On the inside, he's going to go second. Down the back straight, he could challenge for the lead into the third turn there. He's not quite going to get the lead, but he has got second, sends Sam Neville out wide there on the turn. He's going for the lead now round the outside, off the turn. They're absolutely side by side. Is it going to be Gomez with his wheel in front? Yes, it is. So Gomez has the lead then, and Neville fighting back on the 105 machine as well. Side by side then for second place. The first three have broken away from the rest of the field. Number 94, Norm Joss, incidentally, we also saw on the line. We didn't see him out earlier on. He's got very far in this race, unfortunately. 71 Gomez leads. It's still the fight for second. Neville now goes ahead of the 135 of Pete Marshall. It's heat 5 for the adult rookie category. Fabio Gomez with the lead. They're way ahead of their opposition now, these three. We'll be waiting on heat 6 to see if Frank Casoli can get a hat-trick and win the day to extend his championship lead. Neville making the move there. He's into the lead now past Fabio Gomez. Sam Neville takes the lead. Gomez fight back. He was quick in the early part of races and seems to fade, and that's what's happened here. Sam Neville for his first win of the day. They come up to lap the number 94. That's Norm Joss, so he is still going, but a long way behind, and the number 191 goes a lap down there as well. It's David Irons. So plenty of lap traffic in this one for the leaders to negotiate. Gomez dropping back from Sam Neville here. Opposite four from these riders today. Gomez usually starts well and then drops back, while Neville able to fight his way through the field as the race goes on. It's paid off for Neville. He's taken the win in heat number 5 for the rookies. The checkered flag, I think, going out a little bit late there. Sam Neville it is who has taken the win. Ahead of Fabio Gomez. Pete Marshall, I think, was in third. We'll confirm the rest of the results when we get it. Sam Neville the winner by 2.5 seconds. Gomez second. In fact, it was Chris Cooper who took third place. We lost Pete Marshall late on. Jack Pitt fourth, ahead of Wag Scots, then Ben Eddings, Nicholas Prado, Robert Ungar and Pete Marshall classified a lap down. He had problems late on. He's classified in 9th ahead of David Irons and Norm Joss. One heat to go then for the rookies category. The question going into this one, can Frank Casoli complete a hat-trick after winning heats 1 and 3? Olivier Cartoyen will be out in this one as well. He had a win in heat 2. They will start as the favourites then for this final rookies race today. Still got 2 to come of the intermediates, and then our 2 pro heats. They've been brilliant so far, the pro category. Just marking out the starting line. Must say a big thank you to all our track marshals, medics and so on here today. We could not go racing without them. Some pretty dire conditions to work in today as well. Danny Norton leads the riders out for this final race of the day for the rookies. 6 Tim Newbrook is out there as well. He's on the front row of the grid along with Norton and Kane Dalton. Second row, Giovanni Belliosi, Nick Linnell and Barry Stevenson. Third row, Cartoyen and Casoli, along with Jonas Hendricks. 9 bikes then for the final rookies race of the day. Settling into position already. Looking for a quick start here. Who's going to get the whole shot? Nearly a jump start from Nick Linnell, but we are underway. Down to the first turn. Danny Norton's got away well, so has Tim Newbrook on the treble 6. It is Newbrook who's got the early lead ahead of Norton. Casoli already trying to come through into third, and Cartoyen slipping through on the inside into fourth. It's Tim Newbrook with a clear lead as they head down the straight ahead of Danny Norton on the 57. Third is the 23. That's Frank Casoli ahead of Olivier Cartoyen, number 56. Down front it is Tim Newbrook, chased by the 57 of Danny Norton. Have a look up the inside there, treble 6, number of the beast, holds the lead. 4 of them going for the lead here. A little bit of a slip there for Norton over the bumps. He's still second ahead of the 23 of Frank Casoli. Is he going to be defeated for the first time today? Casoli also competing in the mini mods today. He's round the outside of Norton. He's going for the outside of Newbrook, and he goes through. He is not going to be denied a hat-trick here today. Where did he find the grip from there? Frank Cazzoli, a superb double pass around the outside. Newbrook down to second, Norton down to third. It's Kartoyan in fourth place. They're clear of the rest of the field. Down the straight they go. Here comes Kartoyan on the inside, he's having a look. That's Norton, who's now having a look in turn at Newbrook for second place. Kartoyan now at the inside, he takes third away, or does he? Norton fights back there side by side. Racing here from the rookies in their final race of the day. That's Frank Cazzoli has got away in front now. He's heading for a hat-trick and he will win the category for today on aggregates. Kartoyan trying to push Danny Norton out wide there on the turn. He's got ahead there, Kartoyan, into third place. It's the last lap now. They're not going to catch Cazzoli, they're too busy squabbling with each other, these three. Tim Newbrook holding second place. That will give him in the overall classification, but Danny Norton now round the outside into second place. They're side by side again. Norton goes ahead on that wider line. Kartoyan tucked in behind him. This is going to be close to the line. It's going to be a win for Cazzoli. He's going to win the category for today, the rookie class. But who's going to be second? Here they come up to the line. It's going to be Norton second, Newbrook third, Kartoyan fourth. Cracking race between those three. But all well behind Frank Cazzoli, that brilliant outside move. Meaning he was able to pull away and he takes his hat-trick. Celebrates with a wheelie. Well done, Frank Cazzoli. Very pleased with that one indeed. Taking his Honda to victory. I thought we were going to see a donut there as well. Well done, Frank Cazzoli. It's his second consecutive overall win as well. 3 seconds ahead of Danny Norton, with Tim Newbrook just behind in third and Olivier Kartoyan in fourth. Great fight between those three. Barry Stevenson took fifth ahead of Nick Linnell, then Kane Dalton and Jonas Hendricks rounding out the eights. Frank Cazzoli, the overall winner of the day, he gets the 20 championship points, matching his feat from Greenfield, and keeps his championship lead ahead of Danny Norton and Fabio Gomez in the overall classification after 4 rounds. Intermediates out on track next then. Danny Lonsdale had a win earlier on. Steve Wilkinson has had 2 wins on the track but had 1 taken off him. He's out in this one. That is George Sturgis, number 155. See what he can do here in a slightly lacklustre day for him. He's on the front row along with James O'Hara, Jamie Robertson and Danny Lonsdale. Second row Terry Pywell, Simon Parkin, Chris Jenner and Max Inman. Steve Wilkinson, Stephen Gernhill and Conrad Little rounding out the field. Simon Parkin will have to work to defend his championship lead here. 2 wins so far, no points for anybody from Greenfield. Kingsley and Peterborough the only scoring rounds. And Parkin won both of them. Jay Matthews had a second place at Peterborough. Second at Kings Lynn was Chris Jenner, but he didn't ride at Peterborough. So inconsistency from everyone else could mean that Simon Parkin keeps his championship lead here. Conrad Little had a podium at the first round at Kings Lynn, but a poor showing at Peterborough. So he needs a good result here, number 69. There is the number 69 of Conrad Little. Starting from the back by the look of things, so needs a decent getaway here. Moves into position. Had a win already today in heat number 4. There's Max Inman on the outside in number 14. He's had a day of struggle. To improve here. This huge field of intermediates here today. 24 riders have taken part in the Inters class. Let's begin to rise then for their 5th heat of the day. Away they go, and Conrad Little already straight through the middle of everybody. He's got the start right. But who's going to get the lead into the first turn? Then here they come around the first turn. Looks like it's the 81 of Robertson who's got the lead. Jamie Robertson leads the early going then. Looks like it's Danny Lonsdale in second place. And here comes Steve Wilkinson. Here comes Conrad Little. They could be 4 wide for the lead here. Wilkinson's going through the middle. Danny Lonsdale's taken the lead on the inside on the 226. Goodness me, a frantic first lap here. Lonsdale has it from Wilkinson. Little is up to third. Those 3 I expect will pull away from the rest of the field. And Jamie Robertson, after making a great start on the 81, has gone from first to fourth. Steve Wilkinson looking for his second win of the day there. He needs a decent result here after that disqualification knocked him back. Conrad Little is challenging on the inside there. He has a look. Danny Lonsdale still has the lead on the 226. Wilkinson cuts to the inside, down the straight. Can he find the room there on the inside, almost over the grass? Wilkinson's going for the inside there, side by side. They bounce around the bumps on the turn. I think Wilkinson's done it. Yes, he has. Great ride by Steve Wilkinson on the 128. You've seen Ted Wilkinson win a hat-trick for the family in the Youth Inters, and now Steve wants to win the category here as well. Going to be close in the overall classification. Whatever happens as Lonsdale and Little now go toe-to-toe around the turn there. Little nearly into the tyres. Lonsdale holds that second place. Here comes Conrad Little trying again around the outside line on the 69 machine. It's superb stuff from the intermediate category. Wilkinson leads, Lonsdale second, Little challenging for third. The rest are well behind. I think it's still Jamie Robertson possibly in fourth place on the 81. It's all about these three at the front of the pack. Lonsdale pulls away a little bit now from Conrad Little. Conrad seems to have the prowess on the turns here. It's going to be a win for Steve Wilkinson, his second win of the day. Great ride. Second place will go to Lonsdale ahead of Conrad Little. The rest a long way behind. Looks like it could have been George Sturgis who came through for third. We may have lost Jamie Robertson there towards the end. The win goes to Steve Wilkinson, but with a disqualification in his first ride, will that be enough for a decent placing overall? We will wait and see. Some big names to go in the final intermediate heats of the day. Some Jay Matthews and Gareth Williamson to go in that one. Where was Simon Park in there? I think he only managed fifth. Confirm that, yes, Park in fifth. So Wilkinson the winner by 2.2 seconds over Lonsdale. Little just behind in third. Then Sturgis and Park in. Robertson dropping to sixth. Chris Jenner, Terry Pywell, James O'Hara and Stephen Gurnhill rounding out the top 10. Max Inman, the only other finisher from that big field in Inters heat number 5. The championship point still to be decided then. We've got one more race to go. Jay Matthews and Gareth Williamson likely to be the two to watch, I would say, in this one. 137 of Tom Moore leading them up to the grid. Williamson in the black and white there on the light blue machine. Brad Hardman's there as well, number 76. There's 48, Jay Matthews. Lee Sadler and Brad Hardman on the front row of the grid. Tom Moore, Jay Matthews and Gareth Williamson on the second row. Then Richard Gardner, Trevor Heath and Stephen Campbell on row 3. So I would say this one's between 48 Matthews and 147 Williamson for the victory. Matthews well placed in the championship after a second place at Peterborough. Simon Parkin with 2 round wins so far, but he's had a very poor day today. I don't think he's even gotten the top 3 of any of the heats. Which way will this one go? Sadler on the front row alongside Hardman. Williamson will try and go down the outside, they're away. But Williamson hasn't made the best of getaways, trying to come through the middle there. I think that's Campbell on the 99. 919 Trevor Heath's got away well too, but it's the 76 of Brad Hardman that has the early lead. Williamson now comes through into second, and here comes Matthews on the 48 on the inside. It's Brad Hardman, number 76, who leads the early going in this one. Jay Matthews in second place. Williamson's up there on the outside. Then it's Trevor Heath, 919, who got a flyer off the line. Williamson up the inside, takes second place. Matthews has already gone through into the lead down the straights. So the big two in this one, we predicted these two would be at the front. It's Jay Matthews, number 48, who has the lead. Second place is Williamson. It's going to be between these two for the victory now. Williamson has a look on the inside, coming off the turn. Back on the outside, the 147 of Gareth Williamson. He took the win earlier on, inherited the win in Heat 1 after Steve Wilkinson was disqualified before jumping the start. 48 all over the place there, over the bumps, so is the 147. It's not going to be a maximum break for 147 Gareth Williamson. He was beaten in his second ride. 29 of Campbell is now up into third place ahead of Trevor Heath, Stephen Campbell. Fifth is our early leader, Brad Hardman. The gap is coming down between the leaders. Here comes Williamson trying to have a look as Campbell continues to lead the battle for third. Here comes Heath on the outside though on the 119. I think that's Trevor Heath anyway, or is it? We'll check that in a moment. Because the battle for the lead has changed. Gareth Williamson has gone through. We're watching the fight for third there. In fact, that's Lee Sadler up there challenging Stephen Campbell. See his number there obscured by mud. Gareth Williamson who leads the way now, heading for his second win of the day. Could give him the category victory for today. We'll confirm that at the end of this race. Across the line they go. Williamson wins it ahead of 48 of Matthews. Wait to see how the results work out. Simon Parkin, whether he'll still be leading the championship at the end of today. Be an interesting one. Very open class, the Inters. Gareth Williamson the winner on the 147 machine. We'll confirm the results of that one then. Williamson the winner by 0.36 of a second over Jay Matthews, with Stephen Campbell third ahead of Hardman, Heath, Moore, Gardiner and Gary Inman. Early leader Brad Hardman did salvage fourth place. Gareth Williamson wins the category overall though, 42 points from the heats ahead of Danny Lonsdale, but Simon Parkin, despite only finishing 8th overall, does keep his championship lead by a few points, with Jay Matthews in second, having finished 4th. Interesting stuff then from the adult intermediates today. And now it is time for the big guns, the pro category. Toby Hales up to the line, looking for a hat-trick. Looking for his first outright win of the season. He's not even had an overall podium so far this year, surprisingly. Toby Hales lining up alongside the number 7 of Neil McQueen. Front of the grid is McQueen along with Hales, Leah Toklove and Joe Banks. Second row Michael Dijkstra and Sam Hurst. Third row Gerard Bailo, Frank Serra and Rob Meir. What a lineup here for heat number 5 for the pro category. I'm really looking forward to this one, the penultimate race of the day. Can anyone stop Toby Hales going from the outside, looking for his first outright win of the season? If anyone can, it's Gerard Bailo going from row 3. He's won rounds 2 and 3 this year. Round 1 won by Gary Birtwistle at King's Lynn. The pros have been absolutely superb despite the muddy conditions today. Gerard Bailo ready to rumble. I've got no idea which way this one's going to go. I would say it's between the 1 and the 17. Rob Meir, a potential spoiler on the 500, the ex-Speedway rider. Leah Toklove, the leading lady. Michael Dijkstra, the Dutchman. Could have got close to a win earlier on, but for a puncture on the last lap. He had a win in heat number 1 as well. He could be the spoiler here from the inside of the second row. As the revs begin to rise then, pro heat 5 is underway. Good start by Toklove, good start by Toby Hales. It's going to be Toby Hales who leads from the outside into the first turn. Coming through on the outside, that's Rob Meir up into second place. Not a good start for Joe Banks. He drops back into about 5th position. Frank Serra's come through well on the number 15. They're all over each other behind Toby Hales. There it's Meir second, Serra in third. Bailo is only 4th. He got boxed in around that first lap in the pack. Start to sort themselves out now. Bailo going for the inside on Frank Serra for third place. They're queuing up behind Toby Hales. It's going to be 3 wide per second as they come off the turn. Rob Meir in the middle. Here comes Bailo up to third on the inside. Now challenging Meir for second. Meir runs a bit wide. Bailo doesn't need asking twice. He goes to the inside up in the second position. Here comes Michael Dijkstra on the number 58, the white machine there. He's side by side with Serra, who's dropping back. The number 15. Michael Dijkstra up in the 4th place. Toby Hales makes a mistake. He hit a rut there on the inside of the turn. This is Bailo's opportunity, but he doesn't get it. Toby Hales holds him off. If Hales wins this, he'll finish with a hat-trick and he'll win the day overall. Gerard Bailo is out to stop. It's very rare we see Gerard Bailo leave a round of the DTRA series without at least one heat win. Yet to win today. Have the Welsh conditions caught him out. Dijkstra meanwhile going for third. Side by side with Rob Meir. Side by side down the back straight. Rob Meir on the outside. Dijkstra to the inside. He goes through. It's still Hales who leads. from Bailo. I'm struggling to keep up with this, just as I was at Peterborough earlier in the season. Magnificent racing from the pros. Hales from Bailo. I think Toby Hales has just about done enough. He wins this, it will be a hat-trick, and he will win his 4th round of the championship here at Amman Valley. Toby Hales out in front. He wins his 3rd victory of the day, and he wins the day here at Amman Valley. His 1st overall victory of the season. Well done, Toby Hales. Gerard Bailo in 2nd. We'll confirm the rest of the classification in a moment. Can't even get my words out. Congratulations, Toby Hales. Pops a wheelie in celebration. Brilliant stuff from Toby, his 1st outright victory of the year. That'll help his championship challenge. Toby Hales the winner by half a second ahead of Gerard Bailo, and Michael Dijkstra beating Frank Serra home for 3rd. Rob Meir in 5th after a good start. Sam Hurst 6th. Then Leah Tokler, Joe Banks and Neil McQueen completing the 9 finishers in that heat number 5. 1 race to go then, heat number 6. That will see Gary Birtwistle likely start as the favourite, along with number 215 Ferran Sastre. They're the 2 to watch in this one. Jordan Miller will be in this one too. He's had a good day, especially his ride in his opening heats, where he almost held off Toby Hales. Grid lines up then with Ferran Sastre on the front of the grid, Jordan Miller, Sky Adams and Angus Goff on the 2nd row, Sean Kelly and Gary Birtwistle on row 3. Ferran Sastre likely to lead away here. The one to watch will be Gary Birtwistle from the 3rd row in the all black with the turquoise trim there. Sastre in the blue and white leathers, green machine. Here we go then, heat 6 gets underway, the last race of the day. Great start by Birtwistle, but it'll be Sastre who leads the way into the first turn, or is it because Angus Goff having a good go around the outside here, but he makes a slight mistake there. Birtwistle through like a shot into 2nd place, now having a go at Ferran Sastre for the lead. Has a look on the inside, Sastre's running wide, Birtwistle up the inside takes the lead. Ferran Sastre went too deep into the turn there, and Gary Birtwistle took the opportunity, and he's there rocketing away in front now. Sastre will try and fight back up the outside. Here comes Ferran Sastre, the Spaniard. 3 Spanish riders in the field, stays up alongside Gary Birtwistle as they go into the far straights. Birtwistle just about holding off the 215 of Sastre. They're going clear of everybody else. Looks like it could be Jordan Miller up into 3rd place now. It's Gary Birtwistle cutting to the inside. Here's Ferran Sastre, he's going through. Sastre goes through and switches to the inside line. Birtwistle's having none of it. He fights back. Tough and nail here at the front of the field between these two. The 215 of Sastre, the 11 of Birtwistle. Ferran Sastre, the Spaniard, leads the way. He'll be angry that the British plus Michael Dijkstra have dominated today so far, but Birtwistle's back ahead as they come off the turn. Are we going to see the Spaniards go home today without a victory? They'll be out for revenge tomorrow in round 5. Sastre fights back up the outside. They could finish side by side, these two. Here comes Sastre again. He gets his wheel in front on the outside, squeezed by Birtwistle. Terrific racing here in the final race of the day. Birtwistle lunges back up the inside, retakes the lead once again. Oh, this is fantastic from these pro racers. Birtwistle's got the lead once again. Has he cemented it this time? He's pulling away slightly from Ferran Sastre. This is tremendous stuff. Can he hang on in front here, Gary Birtwistle? I think he has done enough. Brilliant from Birtwistle. Down the straight, he's done it. Ferran Sastre in 2nd. That was exhausting just watching. Absolutely brilliant, to say the least. Gary Birtwistle the winner ahead of Ferran Sastre. We finish in one of the finest races of the day. They do it all again tomorrow, of course, in round number 5. Congratulations to number 11, Gary Birtwistle, his 2nd win of the day. That will give him 2nd overall, behind hat-trick winner Toby Hales. Absolutely brilliant. Ferran Sastre, fair play to him as well. They finished half a second apart. Angus Goff in 3rd ahead of Jordan Miller, then Sean Kelly 5th and Sky Adams completing the 6 finishers in that one. It's Toby Hales who will finish top overall with 3 victories. He wins the round, but Gerard Bailo will keep his championship lead. I am fairly sure Gary Birtwistle, the winner of heat number 6, classified 2nd overall, Bailo 3rd, so he keeps the championship lead. Michael Dijkstra a fine 4th. and Fernand Sastre rounding out the top 5. He stays third in the championship. Well done to everybody for fighting the conditions more than anything here at Amman Valley today. That concludes round 4 of the DTRA Flat Tracks UK Series for 2019. They do it all again in round 5 tomorrow.